When even the family dog barks at you, it's time to take a month off from racing and get reacquainted with the family. Or maybe it's time to catch up on current events, particularly if you think OJ just stands for orange juice. But now it's time to get out those Sharpies, sign a few hats and autographs, because vacation's over and the task of race preparation resumes anew. For the Busch Grand National family, the fun times are over, but the serious fun's about to begin. Because out here, the dogs not only bark, they bite. And the next current event on page 1 could be a minor disaster of your own making. Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 from the Magic Mile at Loudon, New Hampshire. It is a gray and overcast day here in southern New Hampshire. There were sprinkles earlier. It's 55 degrees, and there may be a threat of rain a little bit later on today. But we are set to go racing with the best of the Busch Grand National and the Busch Grand National North Series. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Loudon. I'm Mike Joy. A lot of surprises in the one-round, one-lap qualifying for Loudon, but one of them was not the pole sitter. Mike McLaughlin has his first ever Busch Grand National pole, but he is this track's leading money winner. Once won 2 races here in one day. I guess if anybody owns this racetrack, you'd be the guy.
Yeah, Loudon's been good to me. If I'm going to win anywhere, I guess this is going to be the first place I'd like to win. I've got a lot of fans and friends up here from running all the years in New England, and this French's Black Flag team is capable of winning.
Looking for that first win today?
This could be it. You never know.
Okay. Right behind him in row number 2, a man who's no stranger to starting up front and finishing there, Busch Grand National champ David Green. David, what's your plan today? Can anybody run this race on one stop with these V8s?
No, I don't think so. It's a whole different strategy with the V8s now, but I tell you, this Slim Jim Monte Carlo is awesome. Mike, they ought to call this place Mike's Mile, but he's awful good here, and we're going to follow him for a while and see what happens. But I got the best coaches in the world, Bobby Labonte's here, and just want to say hi to all the moms out there for Happy Mother's Day, and to my mom especially, and we'll be doing our best, Jeff and I, up here in New Hampshire.
Hi, Mom, and that's from all of us here at New Hampshire. Let's go to the other side of rows 1 and 2, and my broadcast partner, Buddy Baker.
Mike, I'm standing here with the outside pole man, Tim Fedewa. You won the pole in Darlington, second fastest here. You got to be really pleased the way you're doing this year.
Yeah, we are. We've been trying to step up our qualifying efforts, and it seems to be showing. We're running better and better, and hopefully we'll win one of these races one of these days.
Well, I'm sure you will. And you have QuickTide on the quarter panel here. Is that a favor for somebody or something? Because I know you're looking for a sponsor.
Yeah, we've been looking awful hard, and Bill Venturini come here and had motor problems in qualifying, and he come over after qualifying and was kind enough to offer the sponsor to us, and he's helping us. We're helping him out, and it's a good deal.
Okay, man, I tell you what, we're all pulling for you. You're due. You're really due. Ward Burton, you got to be very pleased. First time driving the Caterpillar car, putting it in 4th place, and the last time you run a Busch Grand National race, you won in Atlanta, so you got a lot going for you today.
Well, my Hardy's crew did a super job for me down there in Atlanta in '93, and Caterpillar team did a good job this weekend. First time sitting in the car, we're working real well together, and just happy for Caterpillar, and hopefully a little bit of what we learned today will maybe turn off when we bring our Winston Cup car back here.
Well, I know you've been having a little bout with strep throat this week, and I really don't want to stand here much longer. There's some real surprises in the back of the field. We're going to go down to Randy, and he'll tell you all about it.
Okay, thank you, Betty. Perhaps the biggest surprise of them all is back here in the 39th position. That's Johnny Benson, the current Busch Series point leader. 197-point lead over Chad Little, but you're a long way from him. He'll start 9th today. What are you doing back here taking a provisional?
Well, we had a couple little problems yesterday, but, Lipton Team Monte Carlo's been running great all year. So, hey, you got to have a couple of bad runs to run some good ones. We started at the back couple races earlier this year, and we're just hoping to still make that top 10, and we're just going to see what happens.
You've had good runs, like you said, all year long, but you've also been fortunate. Does one of these starts kind of put a little scare in you?
No, not really. I mean, like I say, some of the other guys have had some bad luck, and we've had tremendous luck. And, you know, we knew that eventually some of it was going to end, and we just, like I say, had some problems yesterday mechanically, and, hey, we'll see if we got them fixed for today.
Okay, Johnny, good luck. He's got some good company back here in the field. Stub Fadden as well as Mike Stefanik. They're the Busch North Series point leaders. They start behind him in 42nd and 40th position. All these guys are going to try to chase a couple of good cars up to the front. Hermie Sadler will go off 34th. Terry Labonte and Mike Wallace 35th and 36th. So it's live TNN coverage today in Loudon, New Hampshire of the New England Chevy Dealers 250, and we'll be back right after this.
Start it on up, you're behind the wheel, move it down the road, now see how it feels, yeah. You got to treat it real good, ooh, you got to treat it so fine, put the pedal to the metal, mile after mile, keep it humming all the time, add more life to your car, take it to the star.
From Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco Antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the star.
You got to treat it real good. Ooh, you got to treat it so fine. Put the pedal to the metal, mile after mile. Keep it humming all the time. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
You know, a lot of people who work on their cars will only shop at AutoZone. They depend on us for the best quality parts and low prices every day. They come in, get what they need, and then get back to work. Because you see, they believe if you want the job done right, you do it yourself. Well, at AutoZone, we couldn't agree more. Because when you take the time and the effort to work on your car yourself, you ought to be choosy about where you shop. We just thank you for choosing AutoZone.
With each race, he faces a new challenge, a fresh shot at the pole, and another chance to win this season's overall prize, the Busch Series Pole Award. Only then will he earn a ride at Daytona, where he'll run with the big boys in the Busch Clash. We're proud to be with him from the first turn to the last. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Today's exclusive coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Well, you see a few raindrops on that lens. We were all set to fire the engines. And I love to quote Mark Twain, but my least favorite quote is, if you don't like the weather in New England, he said while residing in Hartford, Connecticut, wait a minute. We did, and it did. Out there to the south, you see some of the rain clouds. There's a very bright patch of sky in the east that has already come and gone over us. But NASCAR says there is not a lot of rain activity in the forecast or painting on the radar, so they expect to get this race in shortly. We've got a little time now as they keep the track dry with vehicles going around and around, and the folks keep dry as best they can here at the mile in Loudon, New Hampshire, to have a look at today's starting lineup. Here's the way they'll roll off today. On the pole, Mike McLaughlin, first career Busch pole, and he set a new track record. He's the track's all-time leading money winner. Second is Tim Fedewa, second front row start of the year. Third, David Green, the defending series champ who won at Nashville in March. And fourth, Ward Burton, the first Busch start for him since he won at Atlanta in November '93. Starting fifth under a lot of pressure, hometown boy Kevin LePage, as it were, best qualifying effort for the second-year driver from Vermont. Rich Bickle, happy birthday, Rich, announced his wedding plans today as well and ran a strong sixth in qualifying. He was fifth at Daytona. Jerry Marquis sat on the pole here last month for the Busch North event. It's a car that Mike McLaughlin formerly won here in. He will start seventh. And Jeff Green gets his fifth top 10 start of the season. He'll go eighth. Row number 5, Chad Little, a two-time winner this year and second in the points. Jeff Fuller has won here 3 times in NASCAR modified competition. The Busch rookie is 10th. Larry Pearson won at Darlington in March, and Todd Bodine makes his first Busch Series start since Charlotte last October. He'll be 12th. 13th on the grid, Jim Bown is 8th in the point standings, and the number 2 rookie on the tour, Curtis Markham, who finished 5th in a Busch Series race here in '92. Jerry Nadeau, who won a Xerox Saab Pro Series race here last year, an open wheel race, will go 15th. And Dale Jarrett makes his first New Hampshire Busch Series start since '91. Row number 9, Randy Porter replaces L.W. Miller in that number 18 car and has a 9th row starting spot. And Reggie Ruggiero, a 5-time NASCAR Modified Tour winner at New Hampshire, will roll off 18th in his Busch North car. Rodney Combs is 7th in the point standings as a new sponsor today, and Dennis Setzer finished 8th here last year in his rookie season. In row number 11, Jason Keller ran 4th last month at Hickory and is 4th in the point standings. And Jeremy Mayfield, the Tennessee youngster, makes his 4th Busch start of the season. In row 12, Bobby Dotter finished an impressive 2nd here 1 year ago, and Doug Hebron, who was a NASCAR Modified race winner here in 1991. Back in row number 13, Tom Bowles was 10th last month here in the Busch North race. John Munson, who was Ricky Craven's crew chief last year, turns the wrenches for Tommy Bowles. And Martin Truex, who won a 150-lap Busch North race here last year, will be 26th. 27th, 7-time Busch North Series race winner, former champ Dale Shaw, and Tommy Houston, the all-time Busch Series money winner. In row number 15, Elton Sawyer makes his first Busch start here since he was 6th in 1990. And Jimmy Spencer is back behind the wheel for car owner Dick Moroso, replacing Bobby Hillin. Spencer goes 30th. 31st, a 2-time winner here, Joe Bessie from Maine, and Tracy Leslie looks for his first top 10 of the year. Row number 17, former Modified standout Brian Ross, who once finished 3rd in the ARCA 200 at Daytona, and Hermie Sadler, the runner-up at Hickory last month. Way back in the 18th row, Terry Labonte, who has 4 top 3 finishes this year, and Mike Wallace, a 3-time Busch Series winner in '94. Row 19, Rick Wilson makes his first New Hampshire start, and Johnny Rumley drives his 2nd race with the Don Beverly team. Then the provisionals and a bunch of surprises. The Busch point leader, Johnny Benson, had a vibration in qualifying. He goes 39th. The point leader in Busch North competition and the winner here last month, Mike Stefanik, is 40th. Phil Parsons is 5th in the points. He had to take a provisional, as did the co-point leader in Busch North, 61-year-old Stub Fadden. And who says winning the championship doesn't mean anything? This morning, Jamie Obie said it meant everything. He's a 3-time Busch North Series champion, and he takes the champion's provisional. The drivers that did not qualify, there's some stars on that list. Ricky Craven attempted to return to the Busch Series here at his home track. Didn't make the show, nor did Patty Moise, Robbie Reiser, Greg Clark, or Dirk Stevens. Bill Venturini, as you've heard, West Coaster Dale Williams, and the former Xerox Saab Open Wheel Series champion from England, Rob Wilson, in the Dick Bear car. Also did not make the show. And among the Busch North drivers, Kelly Moore and former champion Dick McCabe went home early, so did Dynamite Dave Dion, Robbie Crouch, Bobby Dragon, Jeff Berry, John Preston, and Ron Field Jr. from Long Island. A lot of cars were here, and a bunch of them already have the wipers on headed home. And the rest, well, they sit on pit road covered up and ready to go racing. They are continuing to keep the track as dry as possible, and hopefully this is just a little localized storm that will pass us over. So we'll take this break from the Magic Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire. Where is your mom, and does she know what you're doing? We'll be back.
Coast to coast, from small communities to urban America. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little-known company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 13,000 locations across America. More than any of these companies you already know. Citgo, the sign of quality.
Phone ring.
MCI.
You try and be nice.
I felt uncomfortable about giving out people's names.
You don't want to put that pressure on anybody either.
Does MCI ask too much of you?
You shouldn't have to use home solicitors to solicit our friends in order for us to save money. That annoys me.
I don't want to have to work for my savings. You know, they're supposed to work for me, not me for them.
It doesn't pay. It does not pay.
What do you say now when MCI calls?
I said, I'm very happy with AT&T. Thank you. Have a nice day and hang up.
Your true voice.
Hey, it's a great day for popcorn fish or chicken. It's big fish. Delicious bite-sized pieces of crispy, all-white fish or chicken for you. Can you pop them? Pop them, slam them, dunk them. How about a hook?
New popcorn fish or chicken, just $1.99 for a quarter pound in fries at Long John Silver's.
Where great fish is a big deal. Who says big fish can't jump? Hi, Fit!
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
5 minutes. He's your best friend, and he's also killing your back. If nothing seems to help, try Dones. It relieves back pain no matter where it hurts. Dones has an ingredient these pain relievers don't have. Dones, the back specialist.
Okay. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. Those canopies are usually used for sunshine, and today they're being used as protection from a little bit of dampness here at the New England Chevy Dealers 250. We're hopeful of getting this race started momentarily as they keep the track dry, and this, what we hope is a small shower, passes over us. Today's AutoZone Tech Fact is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. These series have similar rules, the Busch North and the Busch South, but for these combination races, they run under the Busch South rules. So the Busch North teams must add the cowl and the roof flaps that are required now at all the Busch Series events. And they have to run the Busch Series tires, which are radials. The Busch North Series usually runs, or always runs, on a bias ply tire. Also, the minimum weight requirement for Busch North is 200 pounds. On the Busch Grand National Series, it's 3,300 pounds, 200-pound difference. The minimum weight is 3,100 pounds for the Busch North car, so they have to add 200 pounds of ballast to run here and at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Let's go down trackside to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jeff Fuller is sitting in the car here. He'll start 10th today. Former Northern driver, modified driver, North Series driver. Hey, the North cars, Jeff, seem to have had to make some adjustments. A couple 100 pounds added to the cars, roof flaps. Did that hamper these guys a little bit trying to come here and qualify for this race?
Well, obviously, if they've got their cars set up for this track and they go home and they research what happened, you add another whatever it is for pounds up on the roof, and it makes the car want to teeter a little bit. So in the radial tires that they had to run too, yeah, with all those little factors involved, they had to scramble a little bit. But I think that the experience that they have at this track, many more laps than the Southern guys, it's probably going to be a wash. It's probably going to be evened up because of the Southern guys' experience with the radial tires and the Northern guys. So many laps around the track, it should be pretty equal. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Northerner now or a Southerner. I'm just a modified driver, so I'm pretty neutral territory.
Hey, kind of a coming home for you, though, as well, up here. A lot of fans up here.
You know, there really is. I just can't believe all the fan support that we've had down there. I mean, it's been tremendous. You know, Sunoco 260 and Chevy and the team, everybody's been doing a great job, and I couldn't be happier.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jeff. Starting 10th today.
Modified boy from Auburn, Mass. Started his career before he turned 16 at Westboro Speedway in Massachusetts, and now he's on the Busch Series.
Did he say he wasn't a Northerner or a Southerner? With that voice, believe you me, he's a Northerner.
I think so. Let's have a little review of the Busch North Series so far. Jerry Marquis, as we told you, won the pole here April 9th at Loudon, New Hampshire. Mike Stefanik in the Burnham Oil Burners car won the race. Dave Dion, the pole sitter at Hudson, New Hampshire, and Bobby Dragon, the race winner. Dragon unable to qualify the Tallarico Buick for this race. May 6th, Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, Glenn Sullivan wins the pole. And in the Valvoline Chevy, or Pontiac rather, Robbie Crouch in the Don Ling car wins the race. And Crouch, the Tampa Tornado, another of those who had to go home early here, and very tough making the field here in New Hampshire for this event, especially in light of having just one round of qualifying and just one lap to do it in.
Well, Mike, that was the thing. You know, one lap around this place, if you slip one time, you start loading your truck. That's it. I mean, you don't have a second lap or anything, so one mistake and you're out.
What happens to old racing tires? They dry the track. We can see that house now. We had a shot of that house off in the distance a bit ago, and all you could see were the clouds and the rain. Now, that is to the east of here, so the rain looks like it's pretty much stopped. And as they keep enough dryness in the track, we should be racing here very shortly for 250 laps at the Magic Mile here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Let's recap the Busch Series Grand National style since we've been away for a month. 6 different winners. Now, last year, Winston Cup drivers had won, what, half a dozen races so far last year. This year, only one Winston Cup driver has been to victory lane. 37 different drivers have posted top 10 finishes. No pole winner has been to victory lane. In fact, the pole winners failed to finish 4 of the races so far. And the driver leading at halfway has only won twice. So a lot of late race surprises in this series so far. Johnny Benson leads the points. Jeff Fuller, who you heard from a moment ago, is the leading rookie on the tour. Been kind of strange to have a month off, buddy, but I know the teams enjoyed it. They had a lot of work to do, some of them.
I tell you what, they needed a little break, you know. At Hickory, a lot of people had a little damage to the cars and all, and it gives them time to really reload and get ready for this second run at the National Championship and the whole bit. So, really, they need time off like that every once in a while just to get cars back, good short-track cars, good super speedways. At one time, you didn't have to worry about different cars, but now they have a different car for most racetracks that they go to.
Well, and I think the month off was good for some tempers as well. They flared in our last Busch race, Hickory, North Carolina. If you didn't see it here on TNN, here's what happened in the closing laps to race leader Chad Little. Late in the race as the caution waves and they come back to the yellow flag, trying to get a lap back, Kevin LePage almost turns race leader Chad Little around. On the restart, they dive into turn number 3, and as a result of the contact, Little is crashed out of the race.
It is a shame because we had led a lot of laps and had been out front for a long time. A caution bunched the field back up. I mean, I think I had a quarter lap lead before the caution. So I mean, it really was our race, but it's not over till the caution flag drops. And I don't want to say that's racing because I don't feel that a lap car with that few laps left to go should race that aggressively with the leader.
Vermont Teddy Bear Chevy was running real good. You know, we tried to make up a lap. We got in a little bit of trouble with the leader. You know, leader wreck, unfortunately, I ended up getting penalized, and the race was over with. So, we're here at Loudon, and it's a new weekend. It's a month later, and, I'm ready to go racing.
And it's his home track. He led here for 7 laps last year, had a great run going, and finished 9th. The flat tire on the final lap costing him perhaps a top 5 finish. It is a new month, and it's kind of like the restart of the new season. Let's go to the man who was the point leader and race leader he was the race leader there at Hickory when that incident occurred. Here's Randy.
Well, he's sitting in his car all covered up. We'll kind of unzip him here and see if we can check in with Chad. Chad Little, take a little respite in there or what?
Yeah, I was trying to catch a little nap before the start of the race. You know, it's hard when you get all geared up for the race and then the rain comes, and NASCAR told us they needed us to stay in our cars in case the weather breaks suddenly. So guys are underneath the tent just relaxing a little bit, and I was just trying to relax. Got me a nice cool drink in here, and just hoping that as Bear Ford runs good today. We qualified 9th, and felt good in the last practice session. I just hope for the best today.
Okay, good luck today. Chad Little starting 9th again.
Well, he's led 7 of 8 races this year, Randy. Now, buddy, I remember trying to interview you on race morning before some of your start. Did you ever get a nap on race morning?
A nap?
Yeah.
Man, I was junk. Until the green flag come out, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't like anybody, and this is really nice to be able to take a nap. Richard Petty would do that now. We had to wake him up when I was a team member with him. He'd get in the car and get real comfortable. He'd just fall over and go to sleep for an hour, you know. But no, I was a little more intense about what I was doing and all. But that's good to see. I mean, he's ready. He knows the car's ready, and he has a lot of confidence in the crew. So the work's done. Now he's waiting on the weather. And by the way, we're getting smoke off the tires now, so the track is drying really fast.
The track is graying up as they wipe some of the water off Reggie Ruggiero's car. There's a look from behind the pace car here at New Hampshire. We'll be right back, and I think we're about to go racing.
Get ready for all the racing action you can handle. Phone now and get the official directory for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Get track maps, seating charts, driver bios and stats, scorecards and schedules for all the races, plus the latest weather, tickets, qualifying times, and a detailed trip planning guide, all for only $21.95.
Get this guide. Heck, I'd buy it for the picture on the cover.
Phone 1-800-RACE-345 now and we'll ship immediately.
Today, millions of Americans are running faster with the same size engines and farther on the same amount of fuel. Millions have discovered the patented advantages of the split-fire spark plug, a difference that delivers on every stroke of every piston. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs, a 4.8% gain in mileage. If you're not running the split-fire, you're probably behind someone who is.
Split fire, more power, and more mileage for your money back.
TNN Highway Transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call Joe Barbagallo and the folks at 1-800-988-4884 to see why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. And tonight, live from Monroe, Washington, the Jerdan Nelson Truck 150. Join Glenn Jarrett and Barry Dodson on TNN for coverage of the NASCAR Super Truck Series by Craftsman, live and exclusively on TNN. So you get your nap and be up at 10 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, to see Super Truck Racing live. We'll all be watching. As there you have a look at the covers coming off the cars, and Randy Pemberton patrolling pit road where it's now dry and getting set to go here. There's a look at Mike Stefanik, 09, the Burnham car. Terry Labonte, number 14. Johnny Rumley, 25. And the 75, Rick Wilson. Now, Stefanik is in the car in which he won here 1 month ago to Busch North rules. 3,100 pounds, bias ply tires. And here for this race today, 3,300 pounds and radial tires. Stefanik, the former national modified champion. When he was 6 years old, used to come to Riverside Park in Agawam, Mass. and watch his older brother Bobby win track championships. He'd sit up on the top rail of the reserve seat section where his dad, Stanley, was the usher and cheer his older brother on to victory.
Sounds like Michael Waltrip, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Let's go to Randy Pemberton with Mike Stefanik.
Well, they've buttoned up the net on Mike Stefanik's cars, getting his car and getting his gloves on. He said we can put it down for just a second. We go ahead, we'll do that. Talk to Mike. Hey, Mike, can you have any strategy starting as far back in the field as you are today?
Well, you know, we're really going to try to stay out of trouble and get this Burnham Chevrolet up through the field a little better than we're at now. Me and Johnny Benson being the point leaders both way back here, it's gonna really be tough, but you know, we're going to try to finish this race. You know, that's our main objective, and try to pad our point lead. I'd like to say hi to my two girls at home, Nicole, Christine.
I know you get around this track so very well. Why?
Well, you know, we've had some success in the modifieds and in the Busch cars. Probably have a little home field advantage running extra laps here. I don't feel we have the advantage on the radials, however. I'd feel more comfortable if everybody was on the McCreary's right now.
Okay, good luck today, Mike. Long, long, long way to go. Mike Joy?
Thanks. That's number 2 in the helmet sweepstakes, Mike Stefanik right there. It was his birthday this weekend, and 500 folks from Burnham showed up to sing happy birthday.
Mike, it has to be 4/10, that helmet, I'm telling you.
4/10?
4/10, it's got to be. I mean, that thing looks fast.
Oh, 4/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Well, that was only number 2, I think, in the helmet sweepstakes. We went around the garage area, and we voted the outstanding helmet of the day has to be this one. A little tough to see inside there, but there are more colors on Johnny Benson's helmet and more designs going around there, and there's one of those Lipton packs almost like breaking through the helmet. So Johnny has the number 1 helmet of the day.
Man, that thing looks mean. I like that.
Yep. That's half a second.
Yeah, at least.
Okay. They're getting set to fire engines here at New Hampshire. The covers are off the cars. The track is dry. Let's go racing when we come back.
Well, the battery's good, and the starter's brand new, so I figure it's got to be the alternator, right? I go into the AutoZone, get a new one. Well, this guy says, well, let's check the old one first. No sense buying something you may not need. Well, turns out it's a voltage regulator. I tell you, I could have spent a lot of time swapping out parts till I got it right. But with AutoZone, piece of cake.
Went out to buy a car. Dad said good luck. Saw my new Ford Ranger and said, son, that's a truck. My girlfriend loves the new inside. Now all she wants to do is ride. Mom sees the airbag and takes heart. Finally her boy's getting smart. My best friend pops the hood. Look for horsepower. That's good. Well, my boss says it takes the cake. A truck with anti-lock brakes. Oh yeah, my Ford Ranger's really hot stuff. Now Dad asks,
Can I borrow the truck? The Jerdan Nelson Truck 150 tonight on TNN Motorsports. Due to live race coverage, Bill Dance Outdoors will be presented at a different time. 4 p.m. 3 Central today on TNN Outdoors.
Hey, you're Arthur A.G. from Hoop Tree.
The
Shark season begins May 16th at the Manatee Civic Center. Tickets are $7 for adults, $4 for children, under 6 admitted free. Call Ticketmaster 1-800-776-8669 or 351-DUNK.
You see, your dreams can become reality.
Home Shopping Club asks, what's in a name? Home Shopping Club, home to the greatest names in cosmetics.
They have fired the engines here at Loudon, New Hampshire, and that is a welcome sound. Hopefully it'll scare some of these rain clouds away. Look at how dark that sky is to the north. Yes. Not a nice day up on Lake Winnipesaukee.
Boy, I tell you, it's really threatening looking, but you know it's dry right now, and I think we'll be racing pretty quick.
Yes, folks, that's the good-looking weather off to the west, behind our broadcast position. And the folks are starting to filter back into the grandstands with the sounds of the motors firing, and we're getting set to go. Here's today's AutoZone race analysis, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. 43 cars, 38 time trialers, 4 provisional starters, and 1 champions provisional. We'll start this race over a distance of 250 laps, 264.5 miles, for one of the higher purses on the Busch Grand National Circuit. Joe Nemechek holds the race record set in August of 1992 when he beat Dale Earnhardt to the finish line by a whisker.
Boy, they made contact on the last lap, got a little sideways, but Nemechek held on to win.
It was quite an exciting race. We've had some here. Giving the engines a little bit extra time to warm up here as they sit, because we're just barely about 55 degrees here today. New Hampshire International Speedway was built from the old Breyer Motorsports Park, a 1.6-mile road race course with a quarter-mile oval and an 1/8-mile drag strip. Now this super speedway is certainly one of the show places of the sport. It's just over a mile around as NASCAR measures it, 1,500-foot straightaways, and a 12-degree banking in both the north and the south turns. There's a tunnel under turn 2 that'll accommodate the biggest of the tractor-trailer rigs on the NASCAR circuit. And if you see up there in turn number 4, past the Concord Grandstand and the Laconia Grandstand, there are new seats being added just to the right of the existing grandstand. Between that and the Winston Cup billboard, we saw some bleacher construction up there yesterday as they continue to enlarge this facility for the overwhelming demand for Winston Cup tickets among race fans in New England and Canada.
Concord or Concord?
If you're in North Carolina, it's Concord.
I got you. Okay.
If you're in California or New Hampshire, it's Concord. And since that's the capital of the state, that's what we'll go with. That's Chip Warren there saying 2 pace laps as the cars roll out. And here's a look from the Corvette pace car. The Granite State Corvette Club left, probably $20,000 worth of Goodyear tire rubber down the front straightaway as they ran their parade laps this morning.
Lighten them up.
Corvettes from, I think the oldest I saw was about a 1958, and they even had a brand new Corvette Indy pace car, which I didn't even know were released to the public yet. But I guess they are. There's your front 2 rows, and here's Elton Sawyer in the Ford Credit Ford. He's carrying one of our in-car cameras today. There's his race cam, looking out the front, and a couple of Mother's Day and graduation wishes there. There's a look out the right side doorpost and out the rear window of Elton Sawyer's car. Hermie Sadler there in the number 1 alongside. He'll also be riding with Jason Keller in the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. There's his race cam, looking ahead at Rodney Combs. And also out the right side window, there's Martin Truex in 56 alongside. Those wires hanging down were for the roof flaps, and here's the rear window cam on Jason Keller's machine. And the leading rookie on the tour, Jeff Fuller, in the ST Motorsports Sunoco number 47. Rear window cam. And a look out the right side of Jeff Fuller's car. Driver at work, scuffing the tires, cleaning them off, and getting set to go racing. Remember when Jimmy Spencer drove his backup modified and we had cameras on both his and Spencer's car here at New Hampshire? We had yes, folks, I don't know where we'd been the night before, but we put a camera on the front bumper of Jimmy Spencer's modified here at New Hampshire.
I'm glad to see him back in Busch Grand National.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he brings a lot of excitement wherever he goes.
Yes, he does. And we got great pictures from that camera as well.
For about 14 seconds.
Oh, pace lap was longer than that.
Here we go,
They
folks.
did a good job for us.
They're coming down for the green flag right now.
Here's Randy. All right, we'll go racing. Pace car is in for 250 laps. Mike McLaughlin leads them down, and Tim Fedewa drops in line right away as they are 2 by 2 into turn 1, and everybody is looking for the low lane early. That's Ward Burton up on the outside of David Green.
Mike, what they do, they hug the yellow line all the way through the corner, making your apex into the corner. You make a wide apex in and right down to the bottom. That is the preferred line right now. But you see Ward Burton on the outside there in the Caterpillar car. He's able to keep up with everybody on the outside, so both lanes are real fast right now.
Ward Burton, who replaced road racer John Tanner in that Caterpillar machine, challenging there for a third spot, and he's going to get it and drop in line in front of David Green and behind Tim Fedewa. Here's Randy.
Very many cautions, hopefully not here today, but if there are, there will be 2 sets of tires allowed for these cars here today. The set they start on and 2 more under caution. Any other tires, they'll have to take them on under green flag conditions, or if they flat spot them or spin, it's under NASCAR discretion. Pit road speed about 4,200 RPM, in second gear about 45 miles an hour.
Well, I tell you what, Ward Burton is absolutely flying right now. He is checking up on the leader right now. He's gained about 6 or 7 car lengths in 1 lap on McLaughlin down the back straightaway.
He's right there. Tim Fedewa now sits in third. Fourth is Rich Bickle, and fifth, David Green.
You see the 2 cars there? That was Chad Little going by Kevin LaJoie. And they didn't have a better problems. You see, each race is a different thing. All that's in the past. The bumping and all that they did at Hickory. It's all over with.
Larry Pearson down to the inside, trying to get under Todd Bodine in 81. There's Kevin LePage in 71, and 23, Chad Little. The Vermont Teddy Bear Company did not send Chad a teddy bear.
Oh, come on.
Well, they could have, but they didn't. That's okay. They're busy getting teddy bears ready for Mother's Day.
See Tim Fedewa there in third place. That car is working really well, but you see him bobbling just a little bit as he comes up out of the corner. That car is just a little bit loose, and he's losing third spot as we speak.
Rich Bickle from Wisconsin puts that box of Kleenex right in front of Tim Fedewa and into third place.
Well, Mike, it's a one racetrack. You do not want the back of the car to slide out because it is so flat. When you start out of the corner, if you lose the back, it's really tough to keep it out of the wall. Chad Little crashed in the last practice yesterday, and they worked on the car all morning to straighten up the rear end in the car.
Battle for 10th spot, 47, Jeff Fuller, 92, Larry Pearson. That green and white 81 is Todd Bodine, and Curtis Markham in 63. Ran a lot of races here on the Busch North Series. The Lysol Pontiac underneath Todd Bodine. Here's Dale Jarrett, Mac Tools 32, underneath Bodine, who's caught up there on the high side.
Uh-oh, we have a challenge for the lead as we speak. Ward Burton's underneath the leader, McLaughlin, right now. I think he'll probably make the pass. He's got the better line coming through the corner. You see McLaughlin not fighting this early in the race. Very smart.
Rich Bickle's going to try to put his Ford into second place, and does so. McLaughlin may get freight train. Here's Jeff Green. Where did he come from?
Wow, I'm telling you, Jeff Green is flying. We didn't even see him in the last lap around. We have trouble down here in turn.
Todd Bodine has crashed or spun there. That's his car stopped. One car manages to pull away. I believe that's Jerry Nadeau. And the bus fuses number 15. No caution as yet. Everybody pulls away. We
Here
stay
comes
green.
Bickle right now, going into the lead in the Kleenex car, number 54 there, and just behind him is Jeff Green. I know Jeff has to really be pleased right now. That car is hooked up, and he's on the way to the front.
Jeff Green started 8th in the good wrench number 3. There's Fedewa in 55 right there.
I bet Ward Burton's saying, if I ever get back on that bottom, it'll be a while before I move back out again.
I think you're right. David Green down to the inside. This is the first Busch race that Rich Bickle has led in his career.
Look at Chad Little trying to pass David Green on the outside. That's going to be a pretty tough task because both those cars are very good, but look, they're side by side down the back straightaway.
Buddy, this looks like Talladega. The draft is so effective here. Look at Jeff Green use the draft down that back straightaway to get under Bickle.
Well, I'm sure Jeff wants to lead right now. Bickle's car is handling quite well. You see Fedewa now, his car's coming back to him. He's in third place there in the 55 car. He's really running well.
Fedewa looking pretty racy here as he runs in third spot behind Rich Bickle, Jeff Green. Then it's Tim Fedewa, Ward Burton, and Chad Little. Lead change, maybe, maybe not, maybe.
Got him going into turn 3. I mean, made it look easy, too.
And a smart move by Bickle because there was enough space between Jeff Green and Fedewa that if he let Green go at the end of the backstretch, he could get back in line and not get freight trained himself.
Well,
10 laps complete of 250 here at New Hampshire. We got off to a little bit of a late start, but we're racing now, and we'll be right back with you live on TNN.
Of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
14 laps complete here at Loudon, New Hampshire. You see how Jeff Green has stepped out of lead over Rich Bickle, Tim Fedewa, and the fourth place car, Ward Burton. Back behind Burton is Chad Little, David Green, pole sitter Mike McLaughlin, and Jerry Marquis. Here's that contact earlier down in turn 1.
Mike, you see,
that's Jerry Nadeau.
Nadeau gets in there sideways and just makes contact with Bodine in the 81 car there and sends them both flying. It's really lucky a whole bunch of cars wasn't wadded up here, but everybody managed to get by without any more contact.
Nice move by that white and orange car was Reggie Ruggiero. First car to try to get through. Elton Sawyer moving well in the Ford Credit Ford, and that's Jason Keller trying to come up through with him. I hear you watching back to Jason Keller as they move underneath Rodney Combs. 24th place is Elton Sawyer right now as he make that 23rd as he gets inside the 5 car of Jim Bound. Bound is usually 51, but the Busch North number 51 of Jerry Marquis qualified in front of Bound, so Jim had to change his number for the day.
Well, Jim's been doing a great job this year. See Rodney Combs right under him there in the 43 car. He's running quite well, too. He said he was coming to the front. He's got a long ways to go. Jeff Green is flying up front.
Now Keller underneath the 38 and makes the pass on Elton Sawyer.
You know, we talked to Elton Sawyer yesterday. He has a commitment with Hooters right now for Winston Cup until Dover. And they're not sure whether he's going to stay in this car for the rest of the year or not. But I would imagine he will probably stick with this car. He has a contract with him. I would say, if I was him, I would have to think about it.
Well, his car owner, Bob Sutton, has told him, we want you to stay, but if you have to go, you know, we understand. They've been talking to some other folks about possible replacements if necessary, but through Dover weekend, which you'll see live on TNN, there are no conflicts in dates between the Busch and the Winston Cup Series, so he can continue to run both until that time. And then all three, both teams involved and Elton will make their decisions.
Look at there. There's our old buddy that helped us with the broadcast in Greenville the other day. That's Jason Keller coming up behind Elton Sawyer right as we speak.
And a big pack behind them. There's Johnny Benson moving to the inside as he comes up from that provisional starting spot. Here's Randy.
Well, Johnny Benson has been going to the high side the last couple of laps. He's complained about the car being tight, so he went to the high side, got around Herbie Sadler, as well as Mike Wallace. Terry Labonte has fallen back, but if the car seems to be coming in for him, he's now just crept inside the top 30. That's the Busch Series point leader.
Benson's number 74, that red car with the yellow nose. He's now in 27th place.
Mike, that's a sign of maturity when a driver's smart enough to look for a line around the racetrack that he can make his car work until they get to work on it on a pit stop. So that's really smart on his behalf to move out and get that car where it will turn in the corner.
This group is 17 seconds behind the race leader, buddy, as Rodney Combs attempts to move up on the Blount Seafood number 56 of Martin Truex.
Wow, what a move. That's a power move. When you pass somebody on the outside, you just take the air right out of his sail, as they say. Now
that 1,500-foot front straightaway here at New Hampshire. And there's Truex on the inside now with Bobby Dotter coming up, and little contact there.
Mike, you would not believe this, but underneath the car getting in the corner here, it loosens the inside car up, and you have to really be careful not to pull that car around and get him sideways to where he backs into your car getting in the corner.
You see that yellow line? Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I think it's kind of there for reference. A lot of times you'll see a driver with two wheels on the left side of that yellow line. 22 laps complete at Loudon, New Hampshire. Jeff Green, driving the Good Ranch number 3, is your race leader. Rich Bickle, the birthday boy, runs in second. We'll be right back. Busch Grand National race. He went from 8th to the lead in 10 laps, and right now he has a 1.5-second lead on Rich Bickle. Here he is pulling up on Randy Porter and makes the pass. Put Porter a lap down. Possible engine trouble on Terry Labonte, that car sounding off song.
Mike, we're getting a good look at what Dale Earnhardt seen in Jeff Green. He knew he was this kind of driver. He told me he had a lot of confidence in him. He's proven right now just exactly what he's made out of.
Well, let's go to his pit. Here's Randy.
Well, I talked with Jeff Green earlier this morning, and he said, man, we're running really good. We'll try and get away with crew chief. Talked with Jeff earlier, said you're running good. That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's hooked up pretty good right now. We've been fighting a lot of problems this year. We had a lot of engine problems. Cars not handled good. We've been working real hard this 3 weeks. We all got us a good engine program going down. Dennis Fisher, Ben Barnes. I think we got the car hooked up pretty good, too.
No doubt about it. You know, they talk about luck. Johnny Benson said he's had a lot of it, and Jeff Green said we just have not had the luck this year. Boy, he's making his luck today.
Yes, he is, Randy. Tony Urey, the crew chief, for that number 3 car. We've had a lot of fun watching Jimmy Spencer. You know, Reggie Jackson, they used to say he was the straw that stirred the drink.
You got it, man.
Well,
I tell you what.
If he is the straw, Jimmy Spencer's the spoon, you know, and he stirs it pretty hard. He's been fun to watch in the Dick Moroso cars. He's been working his way up through traffic. He and Dale Jarrett both coming on up through.
The Hispanic there, he's having a lot of problems getting out of the corner with this car. Look at Jeff Green pass him on the outside. Now, that's just horsepower. When you can pull out on the outside and just dust somebody coming up off the corner like that, he's not getting in the corner real well either, but he should be running a little bit quicker than that down the straightaway, and that car is off just a little bit. You know he's a great race car driver, but the car is off right now.
Had a bit of rear end problem in yesterday's practice. Don't know if they got that completely cured. As you look at the top 10 rundown, that's Jerry Nadeau just in front of him, who's been in and out of the pits. And here's Randy Porter, who we saw a bit off speed a while ago, going to come in for an unscheduled stop in the Universe uniforms number 18, and they'll go under the hood. And told him to cut it off.
Boy, oh boy, that's not good. When they raise that hood and a race is no longer than this one is, I tell you, it's pretty much done as far as your chances to finish anywhere in the top 20.
Jeff Green there out in front. As we were a little delayed getting this race started due to some rain showers, but it looks like we've got a window to get the whole 250 laps in here. Rich Bickle in second, Tim Fedewa, who is also a birthday boy, in third. It was his birthday Tuesday, and for High Tools Day, they took him to the Webster, Massachusetts Ballet Tuesday night for a little dancing.
A race car driver to ballet?
Well,
give me a break.
It's not that kind of ballet, buddy. You know what I mean. Tim Fedewa was part of the group that went along. Dana Landry from Jason Keller's team. Jason was there, and Dirk Stevens. Steve Bird was the ringleader of that expedition to the Fuzzy Grape. Happy 28th birthday, Tim Fedewa.
Yeah. Well, it is. Jason Keller we're riding with, and just in front of him is Tommy Houston in the 6th car.
There's a look at them as they chase Joe Bessie.
Whoa, Joe!
Oh, Joe and Tommy Bowles get together. Bye, Joe. And the Delco Remy Pontiac goes for what looks like a harmless spin down at the apron to turn 4. Here he comes right back out.
They don't throw a yellow here. I guarantee you one thing. You have to block the racetrack to get a yellow. Bessie's back up to speed down the front straightaway now.
And give Tommy Bowles credit for a nice save. On the he was the car on the outside of Bessie.
That looked like it was almost planned. The minute we got on him, around they go. I mean, that's great work by our cameraman, by the way.
There's the Delco Remy number 9 with Bessie. And right behind him, Brian Ross, former modified ace. Here it is again.
Mike, he's under the yellow line there. He's down on the bottom part of the racetrack, and it's not there is no grade at all there. It's just absolutely flat. That's why he got up into the other car.
The car Bowles is driving was Ricky Craven's last year. They bought 2 cars from the Craven team, that mid-track car and a super speedway machine. Here's what Jason Keller saw of it. Bye, Joe. Well, he didn't hear that, but that's what he saw. You don't really have... Do you have time to think, buddy, in those situations, or do you just react?
You have to react. I mean, if you have time to think about it, you wouldn't be there almost. You know, the whole idea is to react. It's like a good football player, baseball player. It's all instinct.
Here's the other Busch North Point leader, the Napa Buick, Stub Fadden, number 16. That car number is not an intentional reversal of the numbers of his age, but he is 61 years old and still winning.
God bless him. I hope he races till he's 160. That'd be just fine.
He might. 38 laps complete at New Hampshire International Speedway. Jeff Green continues to lap cars. Here's a look at your top 10 as we go to break. We'll be right back. Racing the raindrops here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Not raining right now, but it was this morning. Delayed the start of the race by a few minutes and maybe a little bit of rain further on. However, we have been caution flag free so far. Randy, if that situation continues, how about pit stops?
Well, we're probably about halfway there, maybe not quite. They can stretch it to about 90 laps here. Used to be they could almost run 120 or so. That's when they had V6s in these cars. No longer. Using a little more fuel. You can hear some of these cars backfiring as they enter the turns. Nothing really wrong with the engines. Excess fuel being kicked out the headers, and that's exactly what. Now, when these cars pit, a lot of guys complaining about their cars a little tight. They run the air pressures about 20 pounds on the left side, 30 in the right. Some of these guys are going to start messing around with the air pressures, possibly dropping them just a little bit on the right side. Right side, try to get them to turn through the corner a little bit. So look for them somewhere around 85 laps and maybe 90.
Thanks, Randy.
Well, Mike, he's talking about the cars. They're all tight right now. The reason for that is cool and it's rainy out. I mean, everything's cloudy. If the sun popped out, they'd probably have the reverse of that situation.
Jason Keller, they're looking back at Johnny Benson. And Jeff Fuller right behind Benson, looking ahead from the Sunoco Chevy. Kind of an in-car camera sandwich.
You can see Benson, he's running quite well. He's right on the bottom there, the yellow line going around there. That divides the lane around the bottom of the racetrack. And the other part is the escape, you know, the flat part of the racetrack. You don't want to get down there. We've seen what happened to Bessie just a little while ago when you get on the flat part of the racetrack.
18th, 19th, and 20th positions there.
You know, eventually, we don't have him on the camera right now. Eventually, we're going to have to get to Jimmy Spencer. He is going up through here. He may be the fastest car on the racetrack, and he is passing cars. And, I mean, just as fast as he catches them, he's passing them.
Well, look at those dark clouds, too. Don't know how long we're going to get to race today, but hopefully we'll get all 250 laps in. Hope it's a nicer day where you folks are. Whoa. A lot of smoke there. Tommy Houston. Oh, just catches one car that goes around. This will almost certainly be a flag. It's in turn 3.
I wouldn't bet on it. He's moving again.
Caution's out. Oh, Phil Parsons just got lapped. Can he get it back before they get to the line?
He's going to do everything he can, boy. I tell you, you don't want to go a lap down this early in the race.
Tough break for the Lux there, Chevy, of Phil Parsons.
No, he didn't make it.
And Jim Bound just missed going a lap down. So he'll get to come around. Now, that's the difference. Just 2 car lengths apart were Jim Bound and Phil Parsons, but because the leader was in between them, Bound gets the free pass all the way around on the caution, and Parsons is locked in 1 lap down for now. So Tommy Houston gets going again. It was a 2-car incident with Houston up there. He had spun off of another car and spun up high, and a 3rd car came around. Let's see what happened here. Well, there's Mike Stefanik in Houston, and there's Tommy Bowles, who got spun. The 76, the black car.
Boy, I'm telling you right now, the 6 car got some damage there. The whole nose of that car is missing right now.
Boy, Bowles goes high to miss him and can't quite do it.
Look at Johnny Benson right there, leader in the points. He just got by on the bottom side.
who will pit and who will stay out at 45 laps. Most of the leaders will stay on the racetrack. So let's take a break from New Hampshire. So that's where our banners end up. Big doubleheader weekend next weekend here on the Nashville Network. The Winston Select, Saturday, May 20th. We'll all be at Charlotte Motor Speedway beginning 7:30 p.m. A lot of fun and pageantry, pomp and circumstance, a lot of great racing. And then Sunday from Andretti'ville, Pennsylvania, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Meridian Advantage 200 Busch Grand National Race live.
We go to Humpy's World and straight over to where?
Mario World.
I got you.
All the best in live racing from the network that brings you more Busch Grand National Racing and more Super Truck Series racing with all other networks combined. The Nashville Network. From the Corvette Pace Car, a look back at Jeff Green. Couple of stops, multiple stops during that caution period. Here's Randy.
Well, several cars pitted. A couple of guys just went a lap down. Hermie Sadler, Terry Labonte. Jeff Fuller has been on pit road 2 times. He sits on pit road right now. Took a little tape from the grill. Also, Bobby Dotter was in. As I said, Hermie Sadler was in. But a couple of guys got a lap down. Just wanted a pit stop early. That 3 car has been setting a torrid pace. 49 laps, and they've lapped a bunch of them already.
Dale Shaw was in the pits. Jeff Fuller, Jeremy Mayfield, and Jimmy Spencer made pit stops. Bobby Dotter had the hood up during his stop. They looked underneath, and I believe he did go a lap down.
Mike, it'd be easy for anybody watching right now to know who's a lap down. That outside group there is the cars that are a lap down right now.
Getting set for the restart. Jeff Green on the point. And those lap down cars are Phil Parsons, Terry Labonte, Hermie Sadler, Randy Porter. We're back under green. And Stuff Fat. Lap 51, we're back to green. And it is Jeff Green showing the way. So a little bit of smoke from Jerry Marquis' car that sat on the pole here last month for the Busch North race, perhaps.
Ooh, Ward Burton got in there, got a little sideways. That's them under feet a while there. As they come out of the corner, Burton gets the spot.
Burton in 95, the Caterpillar car, has run up amongst the top 5 all day.
You know, Rich Bickle, he's running in second place right now. That car is really hooked up, and he hadn't abused the tires. He hadn't abused the car. I think he's got a little something for him if it comes right down to the end.
There's the Kleenex car, best run that it's had. And Sadler drives it in hard underneath Ward Burton. He's trying to get his lap back.
Rich Bickle gained about 4 or 5 car lengths just getting in that one corner there. He's really getting in there well.
4 leaders so far, 3 lead changes, 1 caution for 4 laps. Tommy Houston just out in front of the leader. Let's pick up on Jimmy Spencer. There's the Phenolube, number 20.
Who said this isn't a contact sport?
As he gets under Rodney Combs, slices past Jamie Obey. Now Spencer made a pit stop. He has fresh tires. That's Johnny Rumley in 25 trying to follow him up through. There's Elton Sawyer. Spencer down to the inside. He's up to 22nd. Make that 21st.
Yeah, just keep counting. He's coming on.
Looks like Earnhardt in blue.
Yeah, this guy really gives it 100% no matter where he goes or what he's driving.
Alongside the Blount Seafood car, Martin Truex, former winner here last year.
Woo.
How close can you get? That close from Elton Sawyer's car, trying to follow Spencer.
You see Spencer's pretty much the same speed down the straightaway. When he gets in the corner, he's awesome.
Pulls up on Mike Wallace as they stack up behind him just a bit. Here's the Duron paints, number 90. And Spencer looks to the inside.
Yeah, that's Mike Wallace in the 90 car there. He's not running quite as well as Spencer, as you can see. Car looks a little bit loose.
Yep, wagged it a little, as you see from Elton Sawyer's car. Spencer now up to 18th spot. Group of cars that they're coming up on. There's Stub Fadden, who's a lap down, then it'll be Kevin LePage.
Well, Kevin LePage has run quite a good race up till this point, too. His car is really working well, but he has dropped back some. He started right up front, and now he's beginning to blend back just a little bit. Maybe the car's giving up a little bit.
Let's also have a look, buddy, at Johnny Benson, the Lipton T number 74 of the Busch Series point leader, who's also been trying to move up through. And gained some ground. Here's Benson right behind Reggie Ruggiero and just ahead of Kevin LePage. And coming up is Spencer.
Yeah, Johnny Benson's car, though, you can tell this guy knows a lot about chassis and what to do to a race car. He's got all that from past experience in ASA. He's really a good race car driver. You see him go to the bottom here. He's, oh, a little contact there, but no harm.
Well, Reg isn't going to like that.
I don't think Reg is going to have much to say about it. Benson's running quite well on the bottom there. I think he'll get by him here. What he did there is just check up to let him know that he's not just going to run over him to get by him.
This battle's for 14th place. Well, I don't know. Benson came down the track. Ruggiero came down to cover the spot.
He must have woke Ruggiero up. He's running quite well. See, he's having a problem staying in the bottom of the racetrack, and as you can see, Benson's a little quicker down on the bottom through 1 and 2.
Ruggiero's quite a talent, as here's Hermie Sadler coming out of the pits after making a stop.
Yeah.
Ruggiero heads for Agawam, Mass tonight to race Billy Pelley's Modified. So he's got a busy weekend.
You see, Rich Bickle has run Jeff Green down. He's about 2 car lengths back right now. That's first and second place you're looking at on the left side of your screen there. Kleenex. So good to see people like that in racing. I mean, that's a good sponsor for a driver.
A little further back, Jeff Fuller follows Martin Truex up, battling Rodney Combs.
See Jeff go in that corner really hard there. He's driving for all his work getting in the corner.
Oh! And there was contact. Truex ended up spinning around. Somebody took the tail off that car.
That'll bring a yell out for sure. There's a lot of debris on the corner up there.
And here it is, second caution of the day. And it comes out at lap number 59. I have to look at the replay. The first I saw was Truex going around. And he may have made contact with Bobby Dotter.
Yeah, Bobby's limping around the racetrack. He looks like he has some damage to the left side of his car.
But was Dotter the car that worked to cause the incident, or the fellow came in after? Now, here's Fuller on the outside.
Okay, Rodney Combs just gets in the back of him here, lifts the rear wheels up, and around he goes. Rodney Combs was very lucky. Oh!
That's Dotter.
There it is.
Stefanik just missed it.
Well, you see the 43 car there just behind him. When they make contact, look at the rear wheels come off the ground, turns him around. Dotter's just there. Watch the car come up. Boom! Got him right in the left rear quarter.
So it at least flat-spotted Dotter's tires and hopefully didn't bend the rear out of alignment.
I would say that done a lot of damage there. That looked like a pretty hard hit.
So Martin Truex is trolling the seafood car around back to the pits and hopefully repairs. We'll be right back to New Hampshire after this.
Coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
A little bit of cleanup going up in turn number 3 and 4. And while we were in break, to my surprise, all of the leaders pitted. Here we're just 62 laps into this race. Doubtful that they could go the race on just one more stop. Let's show you Jeff Green's pit stop here. Tony Uri and crew at work.
I'll tell you what, guys, talk to Tony Uri. No major changes. They just went ahead and stuck 4 new tires on it, asked him about the air pressure, no adjustments. So he said it's going to take about 3 laps for it to come in. Car's absolutely perfect. Rich Bickle was running second. He dropped the right front air pressure about 2 pounds. Thought he maybe could get it hooked up a little better. Everybody talking about being tight with the exception of Jeff Green.
Randy, do you think it's too early? I mean, could they possibly make it from here on one stop?
Well, you got to get the calculator out. If we go green in about 2 laps, 65 plus 90, what is that? 155. That would mean that it'd be 95 laps on another tank. So it's certainly possible. I think it'll be a gamble. We'll have to see. They might not have to, though, Mike. You know, with another caution or something.
Well, that's true. We'll see.
Randy did listen in school, didn't he?
We'll see how many of these crew chiefs did. Let's have a look at today's Peerless Faucets Innovation in Motion. Peerless Faucets. Get more out of your faucet than just water. For many years now, teams have located their engine's oil cooler right here alongside the radiator so it gets plenty of fresh air. But if there's contact and damage on this left front corner, the oil cooler, which sits right here, is very vulnerable. Some teams have taken a new approach to locating the cooler and how it functions. Same song, second verse, but here the heat exchanger is tubular. Water flows through it back to the engine. The oil comes in here, circulates through tubes, and back out. Again, the water cools the oil. Now here on Mike Stefanik's car, they've moved the oil cooler behind the radiator. Now while air flows through the radiator to cool the water, this heat exchanger has water flowing through this box. The oil flows through tubes inside, and the water flow cools the oil. A lot of different ways to skin a cat.
Boy, you did a good job on that, Mike. Huh? Really neat.
We're not sure which way works, but Dale Quarterly is here, Daytona 200 motorcycle road racer, and he said 2 years ago the cycle factories all experimented with heat exchangers, such as there on Mike Stefanik's car and on Jim Bound's. The next year, they all went back to oil coolers, air-fed oil coolers, and the next year they were all back to heat exchangers. So there's really no argument which technology works best.
Well, you know, the oil cooler on the left side like that, even when you blow a tire, a piece of rubber can go up and knock a hole in the oil cooler and you're done for the day. But over where in the middle part of the car there, it's very hard to knock a hole in anything there. If you do, you're done anyhow. So,
well, look, Tommy Houston still has his oil cooler on the left front.
Double coyote ugly. That's what that is.
So does Terry Labonte and a lot of the other cars here. So no real agreement on where to mount it or how to make it work best. Let's get back to green at lap 65. Jeremy Mayfield, who pitted on lap 48, is now the leader. And up to second is Joe Bessie. And third, Jimmy Spencer.
You know, I noticed just after the pit stop just a second ago, Jimmy Spencer's car was throwing a little bit of smoke out of the left rear corner there, like maybe it might have been overheating, but that can happen on a pit stop because the fan on the car, a lot of times you forget to turn it on, and it's an electric fan, so he might, it gets a little sideways getting out of turn 4 there, I can tell you.
Spencer is fun to watch. Here he comes after Joe Bessie. That battle will be for second place. You see him shuffling for position a little further back as well, as the former leader Jeff Green now sits 7th in line. At least one of those cars in there is lapped.
Well, you see Jeremy Mayfield there leading right now. That's a real pretty race car, the UAW backset race car, and Penn Trucking has come along, and Bobby said if you could just possibly mention our sponsor today, we'd appreciate it. So Bobby, it's been done.
Like we tell them all, best way to get mentioned, get up front. Jeremy Mayfield did it. He's now got Joe Bessie right on his bumper, and Jimmy Spencer closing in. 5 different leaders so far, 4 lead changes, 2 cautions for 10 laps.
Look at Joe Bessie getting this corner. He runs this racetrack extremely well. You notice he has a little different approach getting in the corner. He lets the nose of the car go out just a little bit, and then he comes back down, instead of trying to make a big loop out of the corner.
Bessie's an interesting study. He ran on the Busch Grand National South Series for a couple of seasons, hooked up after closing his own shop early this year with the Davidson folks out of Delaware. They parted company a few races ago. Now he's back here at New Hampshire with Delco Remy on the car and hoping to get something going for the full season.
This party's fixing to get crowded, though. That 20 car just behind these 2 right there, Jimmy Spencer, I'll promise you they better get with it if they plan to stay ahead of that race car.
Guess who's coming to lunch?
You got it.
And he's hungry.
One thing about Spencer, I don't care where he starts, he gives it 100%. And look at the way he's driving that race car. He's not able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack like he wants to. He's using all the racetrack. You see him right now. He's measuring them up. He's got them in the mirror right now.
See if Joe Bessie can get the lead from Jeremy Mayfield. Bessie has not led a race on the Busch circuit since Darlington in March of last year.
You see Bessie there. He knows it's important to get going here. He's trying everything he can to get by Jeremy Mayfield.
Mike Stefanik's car will go behind the wall. The Burnham Boilers machine, winner here last month and having a tough day today.
You see Jeff Green, the 4th car there. He's moving into the picture frame here. That car is really hooked up. Jeff Green has led much of this race today, and I think it's the dominant car out there right now.
Bessie looked to the inside, but didn't have anything for Mayfield in the number 50. Draws up on him in the middle of the corner. And now it's 4 cars under a blanket for the lead. Let's go to Jeremy Mayfield's pit. Here's Randy.
Well, Jeremy came over the radio just a moment ago and said, guys, I think I might have a flat. But the way they're breathing down his neck, he might just feel that way. Because, man, they're all over him. Here comes Bessie underneath and over Spencer.
Took my breath. Bessie has the lead, but can he officially lead a lap? Here comes Jimmy.
You see Jeff Green there in the second row. He's made it 2 wide by 2 wide there. Jeff Green, he's probably going to just dust these guys and go on. That car is flying. The 3 car is the one we're talking about.
Well, Bessie led that lap in my book. You see how the scorers call it. And he surrenders to Spencer, and here comes Green.
Yeah, Jeff Green can run a full car length lower off the corner than anybody here. That car is really hooked up.
3 wide, and Johnny Benson has to back out of it.
As Darrell Waltrip would say, I'm going to get my dog out of this fight. That's very smart when you're leading in the point standing, not to make it 3 deep here.
And Jason Keller doing a little sawing with the wheel as he comes off the corner. He has Benson alongside, and Larry Pearson, the Stanley Tools car, just in front. Back there into turn 1 and out of 2. Well, let's see. The number 3 truck won last Friday night. The 3 car won last Sunday. And here we are with the 3 car in the lead. We'll be right back. Leaders continue to battle at lap 78. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Randy Pemberton here at New Hampshire. Now, Jimmy Spencer is in his 2nd driving stint for Dick Moroso, who owns this number 20 car. When he drove for Dick in June of 1992, he had one of the most incredible come-from-behind wins in Busch Series history. He made up 3 laps at Hickory to win in his 3rd start for Dick Moroso.
Mike, he ambushed them there.
Yes,
I'm telling you, you talk about a dominant race car driver now. He was the dominant driver that particular day.
I'm sorry, Myrtle Beach was where it happened. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I was there.
Yes.
I almost fell out of the booth. I mean, he was doing stuff. Jeff Green is going to get by him sooner or later. He's pecking and pecking. Oh, a little contact there. Got his attention.
Here's your Napa Field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running. 80 laps go into the book. Jeff Green, Joe Bessie in 3rd. Good run for Jerry Marquis among the North drivers. And Doug Hebron.
You see Joe Bessie there. He's in 3rd place right now. He has actually pulled back up on the lead cars. They got away by about 15 or 20 car lengths, but I think Spencer's car is a little bit slower than either one of these cars right now, but he's got that preferred line, and he's not going to give it up. You'll have to push him around a little bit to get by him, I think. And that is dangerous, folks.
We're sitting here laughing because we've seen this movie. Sometimes it has a happy ending. Now, I'll tell you, folks, we don't make fun of anybody. We like to have a little fun with these guys, and especially when it's somebody who's as entertaining to watch as it is to watch Jimmy Spencer run. Well, Jeff Green is right there, but he's just a car length from the lead. Let's go to his pit. Here's Randy.
These guys are having a blast out here. They want him to back off. Jeff just came over the radio and said, guys, if I get under him, I'm not going to back off. Everybody's got the hands going down towards the ground. They want him to sit there and ride, but he's having a blast, and he wants a piece of Jimmy Spencer.
The crowd loves it. It's a cold day in New Hampshire, but it's pretty hot out on the racetrack.
I guarantee you, he's tried several moves on the outside, several moves on the inside, but he cannot get by. Jimmy Spencer's loose right there, and they're side by side. I guarantee you, Jeff Green will make a move now.
That's an opportunist right there. Green saw Spencer's car kick a little bit sideways, jumped underneath, and he'll take the lead away. Here comes Joe Bessie.
Did Spencer drive deep into that corner? Bessie was all the way up to the door, and Spencer drove on the outside, a full car length deeper into the corner.
What a battle up front. So Jeff Green goes back to the lead, and you see how quickly he's able to open up a couple of car lengths on Jimmy Spencer, who had to fend off Joe Bessie at turn 3 1 lap ago.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Jeff Green just showed me a lot. No good race car driver wants to sit back and just ride. They want to race. I mean, they're out there to race. That's why they have numbers on these things. Taxi cabs follow each other.
Look at this pack. Jason Keller right in the middle of it. You saw Jeremy Mayfield's car there for an instant. There's Mayfield, the black number 50, and Johnny Benson, the point leader in 74. Right behind them is Tim Fedor. And And on the outside, Ward Burton in 95.
Benson's car is getting tremendous forward bite off the corner. He pulled about 3 car lengths just off the corner there. That means that car is really hooked up and it's not turning sideways up off the corner.
This is for 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Make that 12th and 13th. Here comes Speedo.
Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield's car is a little bit loose coming out of the corner, and you see right now Ward Burton there in the Caterpillar number 95 is. He'll get under him in a second. He cannot hold his car down. It's too loose getting up out of the corner. There we come.
Just put the blade down and started digging.
That's it. That's probably the most miserable thing you can have on a racetrack is not able to use the power you have. When they're loose like that, you cannot jump in the throttle because all it does is worsen the condition.
Is that worse than not having all the power you can use?
No.
Okay.
You can adjust on the car.
Yes. Jeff Green goes back to the front at New Hampshire International Speedway. 87 laps are complete. We'll be right back.
The New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Well, you've been looking for the third member of our broadcast trio, Glenn Jarrett. So have we. Nobody's seen him since Portland, Oregon last week. He stayed up in the Pacific Northwest, where tonight he'll anchor the Jerdan Nelson Truck 150 Super Truck Series by Craftsman coverage from Monroe, Washington. That's tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Nashville Network.
Well, I tell you what, if you hadn't seen the trucks run, you need to stay up and watch this. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Glenn does a great job out there.
Barry Dodson will join him for coverage tonight, 10 p.m. We're live at New Hampshire International, 91 laps complete. Everybody made their first pit stop about lap 60 under the caution flag. So it should prove some interesting race strategy as we roll on here at New Hampshire. Here's the man who's been the class of the field, Jeff Green.
Well, you see there in 9th place, Johnny Benson making a move towards the front, too. I mean, he started as far back as you could, provisional spot, and now he's all the way up to 9th.
7 lead changes already in this race, buddy. The record is 18 in 1991 when Ricky Craven won here.
Now, Mike, that's a good example of what happens to a car when it goes away. That's Jeff Green way up there. Just a second ago, they were racing for the lead, and now you see he's almost a full turn ahead of Spencer. Now, that's when the chassis goes away and the car gets loose. You cannot hold on to the car, and they're driving away from him right now. Joe Bessie has moved in second.
So here is Jeff Green's lead as he comes around off turn number 4. Let's look back. There's Joe Bessie in second. And here's the man who was leading just a few minutes ago, Jimmy Spencer. Let's go to his pit. Here's Randy.
Well, Doug Hebron is now running down Jimmy Spencer. The reason? Spencer just radioed and said, guys, I believe we broke a valve spring. Crew chief says, well, let's just try to get a good finish. You can see him getting up off the corner, just not quite what it was.
Doug Hebron right now running 5th. His best finish this season was, or his best career finish in bush racing, 4th at Hickory last year. He's the car right behind Spencer, Cincinnati Millicron number 35. 94 laps complete, and it looks like Joe Bessie may be gaining a little bit of ground on Jeff Green. We'll check that when we come back. As Busch Grand National Racing live continues from New Hampshire International Speedway on TNN right after this. And there you see center of the screen behind the wall is Jimmy Spencer, crew chief Vic Kangas, motor builder Bob Rinaldi, car owner Dick Moroso, and the rest of the team having a powwow over the engine.
Mike, even though they don't have a chance to win the race or anything like that by a long shot, you see them still working because they want to get out on the racetrack. It's a new team and work together a little bit and try to get that harmony up for the next time that they run like they did today before they had a problem.
Sure was fun to watch while it lasted. Here's Mike McLaughlin, the pole sitter in the French black flag car, and right behind him, Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace had a baton in there. He had to do a little magic to get that one back straight again. That was pretty far sideways to save it.
We're watching there from Elton Sawyer's car. This will be back at about 14th position unofficially. 14th, 15th, and 16th.
This is out of Elton Sawyer's car here. The red car leasing there. Boy, they put when you got a camera, you don't have any problem getting a few decals up on the front of the car there.
Let's go to Randy behind pit wall.
Jimmy Spencer has climbed from the feed of car. Jimmy, front wall at last, and I guess you broke a bell spring, but wow, you gave the fans a thrill.
Well, that car was fast. I'll tell you something, you know, there's no question we were going to be a factor today. I just can't sit about feet in lanes. I got to thank Dick Moroso. Called me up a couple weeks ago and said, I want you to drive a race car. And it's a heck of a good reunion, you know. It feels good to be up front. Vic Kangas and the guys did a heck of a job. Moroso done a good job in the motor department. We just had a little misfunction there, but that's part of racing, and I'm looking forward to Charlotte.
Good luck at Charlotte.
He has 5 Busch Series wins, 3 in '89, 2 in '92, which came with Dick Moroso.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say the last race that Moroso's car won was with Jimmy Spencer in the cockpit.
Randy Porter on pit road, and the hood is up on the Universe uniforms number 18. They're going to send it back out, though. He and Todd Modine have been a little tough day for that 2-car team. There's McLaughlin and Wallace. And again, Buddy, you were looking at just the vast difference in handling between that group of cars right there.
Yeah, just a little bit off, not quite as good as Jeff Green. Jeff Green is kind of making a little older now. I mean, he's starting to make a little distance on everybody, and the car is really hooked up. And when you're that well through the corners, I mean, you make everybody else look like they're out from second base somewhere.
Green has a 1.8-second lead. You see Mike Wallace's car?
Mike Wallace's car is extremely loose. He's driving his heart out, but that car is really loose in the center part of the corner.
Now, that's easy to see from up here. What's it feel like from in there?
He's got do you see that little explosion out of the exhaust pipe as he started down the corner? That's what Randy was referring to earlier. These cars are backfiring a little bit, and that's raw fuel in the exhaust system, and when they back off to go in the corner, you could actually see it pop.
Well, is that because they're up on the rev limiter, and so that it cuts out occasionally so the engine doesn't over-rev, or is it because these 9-to-1 compression V8s don't burn all the fuel?
I tell you, they twist these things. They turn them 8,700 down the straightaway, so there's a lot of fuel going. You know, it's got to go somewhere.
Right. Jerry Markey, number 51. It's the Wheels Auto Supply car. Now, Mike and Harry Griechi own that car in Granby, Connecticut. They've had to miss the whole race weekend, just ahead of Chad Little there. They own a flower shop. Mother's Day is tomorrow. They got work to do. But Mike sent along his lucky shoes, and Harry sent along his hat. So they're battling here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And Jerry Markey, who started out racing figure-8 cars at Riverside Park in Agawam, Mass, on a little quarter mile.
He needed some lucky shoes if that's what he done.
Well,
wow.
That's where he started. It was a 57 Chevy. Now, doing well in the Busch North Series. There you saw Larry Pearson, former champ, and the 74 of point leader Johnny Benson. And we're at 107 laps. Jeff Green is the leader. Joe Bessie hangs on to second, and Doug Heveron's the new third-place car. We'll be right back.
Exclusive coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by Speed Stick by Menon. Like you, it never quits.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. 112 laps complete. Jeff Green remains the leader. Joe Bessie in second. Doug Heveron. Now the third-place car. Larry Pearson is fourth. And Johnny Benson, who started in a provisional position, has now worked his way up into the 5th position. Jerry Markey is 6th, and Chad Little is 7th. There's a little smoke from the back of Markey's car.
The thing's been smoking about 50 laps now, but it seems to keep right on going. He's off pace just a little bit now, though.
Randy, what is it?
He's got a transmission problem. That's all we got. Radio came over there, and he just said transmission's going on it. So I believe they're going to display the black flag if they haven't already.
Well, we'll tell Horsey and Harry back at Brookside Florist and Granby, keep working on those bouquets. Tough day for Jerry Markey there. He's driving a car that Mike McLaughlin, or for the team that Mike McLaughlin won here with when he had his big doubleheader day on 1990. And Markey sat on the pole here last month for the Busch North race. So now this pack becomes Chad Little, Rich Bickle in 54, Ward Burton in the 95, and Tim Fedewa in 55.
Yeah, we hadn't been that long ago. The 54 car was actually leading this race, Rich Bickle, and right now he's just a little bit off. They're not able to close in on the leader, and nobody else is either, Jeff Green.
Bickle's team had a good pit stop, 29 seconds for 4 tires after he had to back up into his pit stall. It is Rich Bickle's 6th career Busch Series start. He ran 3 races last year. This is his 3rd race this year as Marquis comes to the pits, and Bickle says the Kleenex folks may climb on board for the full season in '96. So here's everybody but Horsey and Harry, the car owners, working on Jerry Marquis' car. Oh, well. Jeff Green at the front. And the battle down for 3rd. Doug Hevron now has Larry Pearson and Johnny Benson right with him.
The 92 car there of Pearson is really run Doug Hevron down. But Doug Hevron, we hadn't talked about him much today, but he is running a solid 3rd right now. And that race car is very, very good in the corner.
Hevron ran Winston Cup in 1984.
Boy, Johnny Benson's moving in there, too, as you can see. As they come off the corner there, Johnny Benson's car is hooked up. He gets a tremendous forward bite. I mentioned that a while ago. Just as he starts off the corner, watch him gain on these cars as they take off here. As I say that, he looked like he lost about a car length. I got to watch how I say these things. I get in trouble there once in a while, but he is getting a good forward bite off the corner.
Benson started 39th in car 74. He's now running 5th. Hasn't qualified well this year, but has a good finishing record. Just ahead of him, Larry Pearson, 2-time Busch Series champion. Randy asked Larry yesterday, how would you describe your 95 season thus far?
I really felt like that we had a shot to win every race that we've been in this year, and it's just a relief to me coming to the racetrack knowing that we've got a chance to win every race that we've entered so far. So it's been great so far.
He's having a pretty good run here today. He is 6th in the point standings. 43 back of Phil Parsons, 5th on the points.
Mike has 3 cars that are running so equal right now. One of them's going to have to make a mistake, it looks like, to get by it or make a position change.
Now, as a driver, you're running in a group like this with 3 pretty equally running cars. Is that more nerve-wracking than you're a little better than the guy in front or maybe not quite as good as the guy behind you?
No, I don't think so. What you do, you start making sure that you don't make a mistake to lose the position, and it really makes you drive better, and you start moving up on the lead cars because you are so careful not to make a mistake because you lose these money positions here.
And I would imagine you don't abuse the car as much when you're running like this.
Well, no, that's right. Lead car, there's a draft. I don't care where it's at. If you don't believe it's a draft, just run 80 miles an hour down the highway, put your arm out the window. You can take your own gas cap off.
That's right. Pearson has a look to the inside, breeze the car down low just a bit, get a little fresh air through the radiator as Jeff Green laps past Hermie Sadler. We're now at 121 laps. It's been nearly 60 laps since the last pit stop. Oh, Tim Fedewa on pit road under Green, and they have to roll him back because he rolled over the line. Let's check with Randy.
Well, first of all, he ran around of fuel, guys. The car is not fired on pit road. I believe they're going to try and change. Are they changing rights? They were talking about possibly being out of tires. Car's still not fired. They're dumping fuel in. He was one of those guys that hit it early. They finally fire the car on pit road. Couple laps down. Bad day for the Quick-Type team.
37-second pit stop. Tough break for Tim Fedewa. So, buddy, either they didn't get it full on the last pit stop or they're not picking up all their fuel.
I guarantee you he's using a lot of fuel if he's out this quick. But the other thing, you can see the guy up on the front of the car there spraying something in the front part of the car. That's ether to get it fired up because there was not enough fuel in there to restart it. So use ether like that to crank it, and then hopefully everything will get to running and pull the gas up into the motor.
Fedewa went only 61 laps between pit stops. Tough break. So Jeff Green continues to lead. Joe Bessie, Doug Hevron, Larry Pearson, and Johnny Benson. We'll be right back to New Hampshire. A little chilly here out in New Hampshire, but a little hot competition out on the racetrack. This is the battle we've been watching. Joe Bessie now has Larry Pearson right behind. Tim Fedewa was some laps down, but the big move was made further up front by Johnny Benson and by Doug Hevron.
See Larry giving him a little reminder that I am back here and I'm handling pretty well. He's wanting to make a pass as we speak. He makes it on the inside. Fedewa will come right along with him.
Fedewa made a pit stop, lost a lap. Now here's Benson. Moving along. There's Chad Little coming up into play. The Bear Aspirin Ford.
Mike, he just tore the heck out of that car yesterday on the last run they had here, and they were very lucky to get this car back. But Chad Little has, I think he's led every race he's been in this year.
All but one.
All but one, yes.
Tim Fedewa is now 2 laps down after that pit stop.
Now, Joe Bessie's car, it really run well for about 20 laps, but now he's moving back. The car is off just a little bit. He's not able to go through the corners like he was earlier in the race.
Here's your leader, Jeff Green. He now has an advantage of 3.7 seconds. And while we were in break, new second place car, a knot of traffic. Those cars that were all running single file, but enabled Larry Pearson to make his move, so he's the new second place car. Let's good look at Jeff Green. QMI, new sponsor, one race deal for Jamie Obey, along with Budweiser. It's an engine additive. Not Budweiser, QMI.
Boy, look at Jeff Green's car. Come off that corner. It's like a rocket ship down that straightaway, but it is getting through the corner extremely well. I don't think I've seen that car even wiggle in the corner the whole time that we've been on it.
And I'm corrected, rather than Larry Pearson, it is Johnny Benson who has made the move. Past Joe Bessie and up toward the front in that knot of traffic. We're going to take you back a bit and show you some of the folks and set the top 5 in the interval for you here. Here is Green as he comes up on Bobby Dotter. He's had a bit of a tough day in the Hyde Tools car, got caught up in an accident not of his making in turn number 3.
Mike, Jeff Green's running super well. He's leading the race, but I tell you, Johnny Benson at the moment may be the fastest car on the racetrack. He's gaining right now.
I think you're right, buddy. He knocked 0.2 of a second off Green's lead that time. Now it's 3.5 seconds. Jeff Green right down on the yellow line. Taking the low way around.
Well, I tell you what, when you stay on this car, you see the same lap after lap. This car, I mean, it's doing exactly the same thing in both corners, handling.
Todd Bodine behind the wall. He's going to run Charlotte and Dover for this team. Otherwise, Randy Porter will do the chores this year.
I'm glad to see Randy Porter get a shot at this, because I tell you, you talk about raw talent, he has it.
Well, here's Jason Keller.
You can see the rubber marks on the front windshield there from that inboard camera there. These windshields get pretty nasty looking, especially on a cloudy day like this.
Yep, this is the 12th place car.
Would you say that's a pack or a gaggle in front there? That's a bunch of race cars lined up in a line.
Concord or Concord?
Yeah, you got it.
Now there's your leader, Green. Let's have a look back. Here is Johnny Benson coming. There's Benson, the second place car, number 74. He's moved around up to second, right behind Curtis Markham.
Now what Benson wants right now is good, clean running, because this car is a little bit quicker right now than Green. He's closing in on him. The lap traffic, sometimes you can make up 2 or 3 tenths and lose 3 or 4 tenths on the next lap, and you really hadn't gained anything.
All right, Johnny Benson running up there in second. Let's check with Randy.
Well, I talked with crew chief Steve Bird this morning. He's sitting here timing Johnny Benson. He walked up to me. I was looking for him. Walked up to me. Said the car's not running worth a... Well, it's not running good, he said. He was just joking. But he said yesterday they had a vibration during qualifying. They changed the rear end on the car. Never got a chance to work on the chassis. He said it was a total guess. And he came up to me. What a smile he had on his face. The car is hauling the mail.
Steve Bird is a fellow who guesses pretty good.
You can see that face, though. These guys would make great poker players. They all look like they're losing the race no matter how well they're running during the race.
And there's a lot of pride involved here, too, because this is Steve Bird's home racetrack. He grew up not far from here. His dad, veteran race official at many of the area tracks. He cut his teeth on the New England short tracks, as did many of the drivers in this race. Jeff Green is the leader at 138 laps. Johnny Benson is now second. Doug Hebron third. Fourth is Larry Pearson. And fifth, Chad Little.
Coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Welcome back to New Hampshire International. 21 cars are on the lead lap as we watch the fifth place battle. 141 laps are completed. The pit stop window begins about lap 155. If we stay green and are green the entire race, that's the earliest that cars could stop and then likely go the entire distance.
Mike, the 9 car there was leading just a little while ago with Joe Bessie. You see Rich Bickle getting under him right now. That car is really off in the corner now. And we should be getting close to a window pretty quick when they start their pit stops here.
I think we're about a dozen laps away. And for some of the lead cars that Randy's checked with, perhaps as many as 20 laps away. If we stay green, there have been only 2 caution flags all day. Now, Chad Little had an arm in the air there for Hermie Sadler. Here comes Rich Bickle down on the bottom side, and the battle is Joe Bessie against, on the outside, Ward Burton.
You got it, Ward Burton. That's him moving up on the inside there. Oh, he gets in the back of Bickle, turns him around in the middle of the corner.
And he saves it, grabs a gear, and goes.
He better get going.
We're green, no caution, but look how much momentum you lose.
You know, that looked like Bickle might have been coming in the pits there. He checked up just a little bit and got smacked in the back.
Randy?
Exactly right, buddy. They just radioed, so I want to pit next lap. Couldn't get to the bottom. He wanted to come in for fuel.
A little early, lap 143, it would be difficult to go the distance from here. Let's show you what happened once more as we stay under green here.
Okay, you see Ward Burton on the bottom side there in the Caterpillar number 95. He gets in the right rear corner. You see Bickles all the way down under the yellow line. He gets right in the left rear corner and turns him around. There was certainly nothing intentional there, but when they check up like that, you cannot react quick enough sometimes.
Tough break for Bickle. He stays on the lead lap. But again, if they need a pit stop, that could be a problem. Here's the man that has been dictating everybody's strategy, Jeff Green. He's been the class of the field today so far. As he rounds down the back straightaway, he has a 2.8-second lead. It is closing in. Johnny Benson is catching the leader, and now Bickle comes to pit road.
Wow. I tell you what, that really took him out of contention, though. He was running right up front there and got turned around. It'll be tough to get back up there unless they have a yellow flag later on.
Don't believe he can make this stop without losing a lap. We'll see. Also, Jeremy Mayfield right behind him is in. Now, Jeremy stopped at lap 48, so he's been on the racetrack for 98 laps. Just shy of 100. Chassis adjustment. Bickle got out in 15.8 seconds. And it may be difficult for Mayfield to go the distance. In the wall, Jamie Oldham.
That's what he didn't want to see.
Oh.
Now, if you're Rich Bickle, that is the worst thing you can see, and the yellow flag is out. Man. Timing's everything.
But, Randy, the yellow flag at lap 147, if they open the pits in a lap, they would have to go 100 laps if we go green the rest of the way. Could they do it?
Wow. I'm no gambler, but, of course, I don't have to make the decision. I would say, you know, that some of these guys would try and stretch it, wouldn't you think? It all depends. If you're in the points race, you might try to dash, but if you dash in for gas late on, you lose spots. I don't know. The leader might dictate it.
I think he's coming in.
Oh, he's coming.
Yep.
Oh, they're coming. There's no doubt about that.
Jeff Green will be in. I think everybody will be in under the caution. Jamie Obie gets away from the wall in turn 2.
A lot of damage to Obie's car there.
Yep. The pit board is out for Jeff Green. Jamie Obie, Busch North Series champion.
You see him backing up towards the wall. Man, he hit that thing a ton. The whole back of the car jumped off the racetrack.
Third caution flag of the day. Hit it right underneath the Budweiser inflatable. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Coincidence, sheer coincidence. Yeah, I know. You couldn't plan that kind of thing, nor would you want to.
Well, I hate to see that happen, Obie. He's quite a competitor.
Yep. Joe Bessie is out of gas on the backstretch.
Man, you talk about policy. He'll never be able to coast in. They'll have to send somebody out there to push him around.
Remember little Abner? in the comic strips? Remember the little guy that walked around with the cloud over his head all the time? And his name was just Joe, something was all consonants.
Oh, he's rolling to a stop in the middle of the back straightaway as we speak.
His name might have been Bessie. In Johnny Benson's pit is Randy Pemberton. There's that red and yellow car coming in for what may be its last stop today, Randy.
Well, guess what? They say they're going to be 4 laps short. Now, it all depends. If Joe Bessie can't get around, that could help him a little bit. The call has gone out. Bessie says, anybody, I need a push in. Now, Johnny Benson, right side tire is going to go for 4, all the way around to the left side now. David Green pits in front of him. Chad Little behind. 4 laps short, that's hard to believe. You know, what are you going to do? You got to go all the way, I would say, from here. The 3 car goes by, beats them all out of the pits. Chad beats out Johnny Benson. Trouble with the left side. There goes Benson, followed by Pearson.
Just can't get Joe back to the pits fast enough. That, if you have ever seen the picture of frustration, that is it.
Man. Yeah, that wrecker probably feels like he's flying. To that race car, he feels like he's stopped.
Well, if there are more caution laps, they may get to go the distance. It gets curiouser and curiouser. We'll be right back. We're figuring fuel mileage. Getting set for the restart, Rich Bickle on the tail end of the lead lap.
Wow.
If Johnny Benson is 4 laps shy of making it all the way, if we stay green, that would mean, by the old rule of thumb, that 1 lap of green uses as much gas as 2 laps of caution. If we have 8 more laps of caution, he could make it on this tank full. We'll see. You're riding with Jason Keller as he gets set for the restart. Now Jeff Fuller grabs a gear and goes. We are green. Now, do we have a race or an economy run? Contact into turn number 1. Tim Fedua up high. Rich Bickle on the tail end of the lead lap.
They are hit again, man.
Yes, they do. They are both celebrating a birthday this week and threw a little frosting at each other.
I tell you, Rich Bickle knows he has to go right now. Fastest race car on the racetrack is right behind him. And Green right now, he got caught in traffic there. He's not able to make the move, so Rich Bickle's praying for caution right now.
Now, Fedua was almost 2 laps down. Look at everybody trying to get a lap back as the leaders feather-foot it to save gas.
Boy, oh boy.
Back into turn 1 they go, and things are a little calmer this time as Chad Little's alongside of Jeff Green. Here's Randy.
Well, you see Mike Wallace under there going under Fedua. Mike Wallace took on only 2 tires on that last stop. Just to update you on the way these guys think about the fuel, Bobby Labonte said to David Green, that's your last stop. That is, unless you run out.
Wow. In other words, don't run out. David Green in 44, defending series champ. And a contender here today. Haven't seen much of David today, though he started in the 2nd row.
There's Elton Sawyer. He's running in 3rd place right now. He's moved up quite well. Boy, I tell you, these things really shuffle around when they have pit stops like that. The 38 car, that's Elton Sawyer.
Brad Aiken's Bob Sutton car is 3rd.
Let's go inside here. I'm telling you, you don't get to ride up front this much. This makes me a little homesick.
Scoring is now showing Sawyer is 2nd, and the car just ahead of him, the Duran Paints number 90 of Mike Wallace, is the race leader.
Mike's car is doing quite well right now. He took on 2 tires. The reason for that, track position. Believe you me, you would do anything to get up front, and it seems to be working quite well. I don't see Elton Sawyer and them moving up on him, so the car's getting a good side bite in the corner.
Trouble. 1 car spins to the wall. Dale Jarrett.
Yeah.
2 cars.
No caution yet.
David Green is the 2nd car involved, the defending series champ in number 44. David Green pulls it away. And will stay green. David Green, 19th in the points.
Wow. That's hard to believe. Everything went perfect last year. Wins the championship this year. He can't buy a break.
So Wallace is the leader. 38, Elton Sawyer is 2nd. Chad Little is 3rd. Jeff Green in number 3 is 4th. Johnny Benson is 5th.
Oh, Jeff Green looks like a rocket ship out there. But look at Benson coming in there. That's the fastest 2 cars on the racetrack. We're going to have a lot of action here in just a few seconds.
Yep. Behind them, Larry Pearson, the Stanley 92, and the Caterpillar 95 of Ward Burton.
And you see Chad Little's car is extremely fast down the straightaway, but I think Benson's car sticks to the bottom of the racetrack just a little bit better than Chad's car.
We'll see right here. And Larry Pearson looks for some racing room. 3 wide, are they going to try it? Yes, they are. Here comes Pearson. He's down there in no man's land, but...
Yeah, I hope Benson sees him. Jeff Green goes up.
He might have felt him instead of seen him.
You can hear him, believe you me.
Oh, yes.
A lot of them say, I didn't see you in the mirror. I pulled over. Yeah, I didn't see you in the windshield either.
hard to turn your ears off.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Look at Jeff Green. That's Johnny Benson. Larry Pearson's run a very, very smart race all day today. Oh, look at this. You talk about casual contact.
Oh, that's not casual.
That's ugly there.
And it cost Jeff Green 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and maybe 5th place. It did.
Yeah, and Johnny Benson got by him there. And I think right now Johnny Benson may have the fastest car on the speedway.
Jeff Green got aggressive, and it got expensive. 4 positions, 5. Here comes Ward Burton underneath him. Battle. Chad Little under Elton Sawyer. Contact.
We have Johnny Benson high now. He's going back in the field.
Everybody that's tried to get up front on Mike Wallace has paid the price, one way or another. Benson's back underway, but he lost a pile of positions.
Boy, oh boy. You never know. I'll tell you what, on a racetrack like this, the groove is right on the bottom, and just above that, there's a lot of debris up there. And if you get out of the black part of this racetrack, up in that gray area you see right there,
yeah,
it's slick, buddy.
Been there, done that.
Done that.
You know, it's funny. At the end of the caution period, all the crew chiefs are telling the drivers, now you got to save gas. Let's ride a while. Look what happens. Anything but. So Mike Wallace in number 90, 23 Chad Little, 38 Elton Sawyer, now 92 Larry Pearson in 4th. Benson recovers in 5th, and Jeff Green is 6th. Ward Burton is 7th. Let's show you the first of those incidents again when Jeff Green tried to take the lead from number 90, that teal-colored car of Mike Wallace.
I've made too many comments about that already. You can see Mike Wallace right here. He's coming off the corner. Jeff Green's getting tremendous bite. He gets in the back of him, turns him a little sideways. Now the 3 cars on the bottom, he slides up into the quarter panel. That could have been an ugly wreck.
You just get that much sideways, and you lose 4 spots.
I tell you what, Jeff Green did a great job of holding that car when he got down on the apron there.
By the way, Dale Jarrett and David Green are both back and running at speed after they had that spin up in turn 4, for which there was no caution flag. They're okay.
Here comes Larry Pearson.
You know, he's not only starting to look like his dad, David, he's starting to drive like him, too. He's coming to the front without a whole lot of notice, but he's going to be there.
He's going to have to work out. If he gets as good as his dad, he's going to have to work out a little bit to carry his money home.
I think so. Here's Randy.
Larry Pearson has just complained the car is just a little too tight. If there's any chance of the sun coming out, he might be all right, but I don't think that's the case. Here he comes under Chad, trying to look underneath. The car just, see there, it just doesn't want to stay down on the bottom, enter it. Just a little tight, but the car's still running well.
Well, as the Broadway song goes, the sun will be out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It's not going to help him, but it will be. Now, let's show you again what happened to Johnny Benson.
You see Benson there. He's right in the back part of this. Oh, he makes contact with 35 car there of Hebron. Gets up in that gray stuff, and he knows you almost have to stop to get going again.
Now runs behind Rodney Combs.
That's extremely slick up there. He's got a little damage on the left rear corner there, too, where he got into Hebron.
And you see he's dropped out of the top 10. Now Chad Little wants the lead. Trying Mike Wallace. He's got room.
Boy, did he make a move, I guess. In the middle part of that corner, Chad Little gets right up beside Mike Wallace. You see the back of the car swing out.
Trouble on Ward Burton.
Got high there.
Now, I believe he spun, buddy. I saw the cowl flaps coming back down that deploy when that car gets backwards to the wind. I believe Burton did spin. No caution. Though that's close. And around goes the 5 and in the fence. Hard lick for Jim Bound. And in turn 2, Jeff Green is involved.
They're racing back to the flag here. You see Larry Pearson under Mike Wallace.
Caution is out. At lap 168, and Pearson will lead this lap. I think we're up around 10 lead changes. 9 anyway. And we'll show you what happened when we come back as Jim Bound tries to fire his car and drive it off the wall at turn 1. The back of Johnny Benson's car, he got involved in some contact. There's a bit of smoke coming there. Might be a tire rub, might be something else. There are 20 cars on the lead lap. And we'll check with Randy Pemberton. Jeff Green was just on pit road after he was involved in that incident. There may have spun around. And Randy, what'd they do on Green's car?
Well, they gave him 4 fresh ones. Now, they talk in the driver's meeting, if you flat spot him, if you spin, NASCAR discretion as to whether or not you get tires. Now, the question is, he's got 4 fresher tires than everybody else, got a little gas, can go the distance as well as Benson. How many cars are on the lead lap? How quick can he get there? You know he can stand on it if he can make it on fuel. Now the question is, can Pearson and guys like that go the distance on fuel? And they also have a few laps on their tires. So, what is the question, buddy?
Boy, right now for me, I'd take track position. I really would. But 4 fresh tires, hey, that's pretty good.
I'd take tires.
Yeah.
With 80 laps to go, I'd take tires. Let's show you our Pep Boys driver profile. It's Pep Boys for quality parts, tires, and service. As we're under caution here at lap 170. Have a look at one of the graduates off of the Mod Squad and on to the Busch Grand National Circuit, who also just happened to be our pole sitter for today's race. Among the hay burners, there's a saying, there are horses for courses. And if it's true, the master of the Magic Mile must be Mike McLaughlin.
Well, it's good to be back. You know, I run a lot of years up here, and I've got a lot of friends and fans, so it's just good to, it's like coming home, you know. I don't know what it is. I've just had some pretty good luck here, you know, and luck has a lot to do with racing. We all know that. It's just been one of my better tracks, but at the same time, it's a great facility. The Bears have done an unbelievable job. Every time I come up here, I look to see what they've done, and you usually find something. I mean, they're always working.
5 years ago, he made a lot of his own luck driving Mike and Harry Greci's number 51. He slipped through this skirmish to take the lead and win the Busch Grand National North race here. Mike had just 10 minutes to celebrate before strapping into the Sherry Cup's number 12 modified and proceeding to win both ends of the day's doubleheader.
Good day. Back to the luck factor there. You know, we had 2 well-prepared cars and 2 separate crews where I could jump back and forth and just relate what the car was doing, and it just paid off. You know, in 2 good finishes.
There's the 34 of Mike McLaughlin, who started on the pole and currently runs just outside the top 10. Well, 80 laps, and everybody who stopped has enough fuel to go the distance.
Doug Hevron's having a problem. He's coming in the pits as the race restarts.
Problem on the right front of Hevron's car. Green flag. Larry Pearson, the race leader.
Chad Little following right along there in second place.
Elton Sawyer is third. Jason Keller is fourth. Mike McLaughlin, is the 5th place car. Our pole sitter. Hevron was 6th, and now they've got the hood up on the Cincinnati Millicron car. Tracy Leslie up to 7th, looking for his first top 10 of the year.
That's Elton Sawyer running 3rd, but as they come off the corner there, that's turn 4. Down the front straightaway, side by side, Chad Little has led every race but one that he's been in. He led that lap.
Ford versus Chevrolet. With Chad Little out front in the closing stages, just where he was one race. Hard to believe it was a month ago at Hickory, North Carolina. Led everywhere but Bristol this year.
Boy, Elton Sawyer's car is really getting along there. We have an in-car camera with him. He's right behind Larry Pearson in 3rd place.
There's Leslie pulling up on McLaughlin. That'll be a battle now for 6th place. Larry Pearson running in 2nd, looking at the leader. Let's go to his pit. Randy?
Well, I talked with crew chief Ryan Pemberton about the tire situation. He said 60-lap tires versus 80-lap tires, not that big a deal. If it was 100-lap tires versus 60-lap tires at the closing laps of this race, yes, that would be a big deal. Can you make it on fuel? He said, yeah, we think we can go 100 laps. Now, they're also saying the 3-car cannot make it. Now, I don't know. It's just a matter of who you talk to down here. A lot of times they won't give you the correct information, but you got to baby the tires because there still is a long way to go.
Oh, Randy, if you can't trust your own brother, who can you trust? Ryan Pemberton is Randy's brother. Chad Little there. Now, the 3-car got that pit stop for 4 tires and fuel, so certainly now the 3-car can go the distance.
It looks to me like Larry Pearson can gain a little bit in the center part of the corner, but that's a rocket ship, that 23 car of Chad Little. It really goes down the straightaway.
And we had, let's see, 6 laps of caution that time. So for fellas like David Green and the cars that stopped around lap 150, we need a couple more laps of caution for them to be absolutely sure of going the distance. You see there, we have four cautions for 18 laps so far. 11 lead changes, the record is 18. 10 different leaders, the record is 12. Or rather, the record is 9 for 250 laps. So 1 away from tying that mark.
Pearson taking a look on the inside of Chad Little down in turn 1. No go. Very patient guy, though. Larry Pearson will wait until he makes a mistake, and Chad Little don't make that many mistakes. So he's going to have to really get probably a jump off the corner and get up even side with him.
All right, let's go to third place and ride a bit with that last incident that caused the shakeup. Rather, here is Jason Keller.
Watch Jeff Green's car just in front of this. Whoa, gets in the back of the 95 car of Ward Burton, and around they go.
Now, that was one that did not bring out the caution.
It was ugly enough to have 2 or 3 of them, I'll tell you.
Here's the way they're running. You see Keller up to 4th, behind Elton Sawyer and ahead of Mike McLaughlin. But the front 2 have developed into a draft and are pulling away a bit.
Mike, that's just what I was fixing to say. These front 2 cars have got clear racetrack. They're able to run a perfect line around the racetrack, and there is a draft on a mile racetrack no matter what anybody tells you. Even on a half-mile track, 2 cars run better than 1 car by itself.
80 laps to go, rather 71 laps to go, excuse me, 71 laps to go here at New Hampshire International on a cool but competitive day. We'll be right back. We're under Ripley's Believe It or Not caution flag. Tell you about that in a moment, but tonight, Glenn Jarrett, Barry Dodson, Ralph Shaheen will be at Monroe, Washington for the Jared Ann Nelson 150 Super Truck Series by Craftsman race. That's 10 p.m. Eastern live here on TNN. This is a Believe It or Not caution flag, folks. There are the caution lights on the flag stand. See the one on the upper left, the one that's missing its hood? Fell off. That's metal. Fell down onto the racetrack, and
that has to be a first.
They had to bring out the caution, safety caution, for the caution light. Larry Pearson's made a pit stop to try to correct an ignition problem. And on the last caution flag, Rich Bickle and Jeff Fuller both made up their laps, so they're both back on the lead lap. Our ever alert cameraman captured that one because we knew you'd want to see it. Because
you talk about Ripley, getting a tire, though, you wouldn't want to run over that thing. I promise you.
No, you have to throw the caution flag, folks. We're making light of this just because we've never seen it before, but sure. Bring out the caution. Let's get it cleaned up. And set the stage for a 66-lap sprint to the finish. Well, now, with this caution, anybody who stopped around lap 50, buddy, would have enough caution laps here, they can make it on fuel.
Yeah, I think there's not a problem now. I think you've run enough caution. See Larry Pearson coming back in the pits. Apparently, they hadn't fixed the problem. He dropped off the pace just a second ago, running very, very well, and they're working on his car, trying to get it back up to speed.
Also, Jeff Fuller just made a pit stop. The ST Motorsports crew trying to get him up to speed. Let's go to Randy.
Yeah, Pearson's done for this one. Won't win it today. It appears valve train problem. Maybe dropped the cylinder. They broke a hood pin. They made him come back in to fix a hood pin on the car. So nice run, but not today.
And you want to talk about aggravation? You're already mad because the car is blown up, and then you have to come in and fix a hood pin. Not too good.
Ooh, looks like Hoyt's been working on that one. 184 laps are complete. Chad Little is the leader. Elton Sawyer is second. Jason Keller is third. Mike McLaughlin's now fourth. And Tracy Leslie moves up into the top 5. We'll be right back. The second place car, Jason Keller is third.
Yeah, Jason got caught up there with lap over traffic. Look, Fedewa making it 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Wants to get back one of his 2 laps. He's alongside Sawyer, who's going to have to give him room. Dives it in deep. Can't get up next to Chad Little, and they go single file there for the moment.
Now, Elton's running quite well, and right now, lap traffic is not one thing he wants to have to contend with. Catching Chad Little's going to be tough enough without a bunch of lap over traffic.
2 drivers looking for their best finish of the season are in this top 5, Mike McLaughlin and Tracy Leslie. 63 laps to go. Everybody can make it on fuel, as far as we can determine. There's McLaughlin, the pole sitter.
See Jason Keller driving way down in the corner in the number 57 car there, Budget Gourmet car.
Looking for room on Jeremy Mayfield. Bobby Jones, number 50, which is not on the lead lap. So 2 lap cars amongst the leaders. 55 Fedewa and 50 of Mayfield.
I would like to take back something I just said. Fedewa isn't holding anybody up.
No.
That car is running. You see the hood there blowing in the wind there. That means that there's a lot of air getting under the hood, making it jump around like that.
Another driver having a great run is Johnny Rumley in the Big Johnson sweatshirt car. He's up to 6th.
He's going to be a factor in that race car before the year's over. I tell you, that boy can drive a race car.
Mike Wallace now 7th. Rich Bickle is 8th. Jeff Green is 9th. Top Busch North driver in the race right now, Tommy Bowles out of Ellington, Connecticut, who runs in 8th. There's Leslie, Rumley, and Wallace there briefly.
Look at Tim Fedewa move up on Chad Little right now. Chad, I don't think, will fight much because he was leading in Hickory and got caught up with a lap over car that was trying to make up a lap, and I'm sure his spotter's going to say, let's don't do that twice.
Especially if they know Fedewa is 2 laps down.
Exactly. Fedewa's getting tremendous forward bite up off the corner. You see him close up 2 car lengths getting off the corner there.
So there's Fedewa. He is 2 laps down, right behind race leader Chad Little in the Bayer Aspirin Ford, number 23, the Mark Rippon car. Right behind them, Elton Sawyer, the second place machine, number 38, the Ford Credit Ford. And right with Sawyer, this car that is a lap down, Jeremy Mayfield.
Here comes Fedewa trying to get that inside groove. Chad Little just low enough he can't get that run right off the corner.
Mike Wallace takes a spot from Johnny Rumley.
I tell you, I believe I'd have to do exactly what he's doing there. He's letting Fedewa come by on the inside. He's only 1 lap down, so what? Let him go.
That's it. But now, look where the second place car has moved to.
Yeah, Sawyer. Anytime you run side by side on a flat racetrack like that, it's easy for the car behind you to close in on you.
So there's Sawyer, 38 in second. The black car is a lap down. Behind him, Jeremy Mayfield. So Sawyer, Ford Credit Ford, second place. And Jason Keller, that next white car on your screen, number 57, is third. The yellow and blue, number 34 of Mike McLaughlin, is fourth. There he is. And right with him, that red car, number 72 of Tracy Leslie, is fifth. There he is. And things are heating up here in New Hampshire.
He's the clean.
Well, if I was leading this race, I think we'd be a little happier.
Smile.
There we go.
There we
Okay. Maybe she just wanted to wait and make sure he was still leading when he went by. Chad Little's kind of all by himself on the racetrack right now. Tim Fedewa has gone by, and Chad has a little bit of gap back to Elton Sawyer. He's built himself a little bit of a lead. There it is. Elton Sawyer, the white number 38. Jeremy Mayfield's a lap down. He's keeping close tabs on Sawyer. That next white car is Jason Keller.
Mike, as you see this long line of traffic here, just behind them is Rich Bickle. He is absolutely picking it up and putting it down right now. I mean, he is closing in on the lead bunch.
Right, Keller is that second white car, 57. Mike McLaughlin, the yellow car, right side of your screen. Tracy Leslie almost got to him right there. Here is Little. Third try here at Loudon. He is the number 2 point man, 197 behind Johnny Benson. Here's Elton Sawyer. He in the Ford Credit Ford. Best finish here previously was 6th. Then Jeremy Mayfield, the lap car, number 50. Penn's best machine of Bobby Jones. That's a Ford. Here's the 3rd place car. Jason Keller, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. Looking for his first top 5 here. Next is 4th place Mike McLaughlin, who was our pole sitter today. The French's Mustard Black Flag insecticide Monte Carlo. Now we're riding with Jason Keller.
You see him sawing that wheel just a little bit. That means the car's giving up just a little bit in the corner.
And Tracy Leslie, who's the 5th place car. Leslie's best finish is 12th this year. He's had a tough year. Wiped out 2 cars at Hickory, 1 in practice, 1 in the race. Crashed at Daytona in the late race pileup that took out many of the leaders. Here's 6th place Mike Wallace, the Duron Paints Alec Myers Ford, who was one of our leaders today. There's Johnny Rumley in the Big Johnson Chevrolet.
Just as we started in the corner there, did you see that big ball of rubber come out from under the quarter panel of that car? That's just a used tire where you run around here slow and it throws it up under the car.
And here's Rich Bickle in the Kleenex car. Had a good start here today, running his 3rd Busch race of the season, and looks to a full schedule in 1996. Tommy Bowles, the leading Busch North contender. His dad Ed owns that car. Their Chrysler Plymouth dealership in Ellington, Connecticut is on the back, but they're looking for a sponsor for the hood and the quarter panels. Bowles with John Munson, Ricky Craven's former crew chief.
And the 74 there, that's Johnny Benson Jr. He's run an extremely good race today.
He's the point leader, 197 ahead of Chad Little coming in here today.
That's Ward Burton in the 95 car. First run in this car, qualified 4th, run very well all day, been in a couple of skirmishes, got turned around a couple of times.
Has 4 Busch Series wins. And Hermie Sadler. Now Sadler got a lap down early in the DeWalt Tools Chevrolet number 1. Has run a good pace since. And Reggie Ruggiero, the modified standout. His next race comes up in about 25 minutes. He's got about 3 hours to get to Agawam, Mass. to run his modified.
That's Dennis Setzer in the 59 there.
And there's
the
a team
Alliance car.
Yeah, they've had to struggle a bit since changing over to Ford at the first of this season.
Mike, it's like anything. It takes a little adjustment to get used to a new type of car, new motor. Everything has to be changed over in your shop. They'll be there. Believe you me, that's a lot of talent.
Kevin LePage, the Vermont Teddy Bear Chevrolet, qualified up in the top 5.
I'm a little aggravated. I give my bear to somebody in the infield. They had a teddy bear made with my name on it today, and I'll be dogged if I didn't lose it over there.
We'll find it.
I hope.
David Green got in a spin a while ago. 19th in the point standings. Has not been a great season so far for David Green. Got a victory, got some poles, but not the consistency that he had last year. He's running 14th.
Doug Hevron there in the 35 car. He's had so much trouble today. I mean, he's cut down the right front. He's had a lot of problems. He's involved in a couple of skirmishes, but he was all the way up to 2nd place at one time in the race today.
It's 11 laps down right now, buddy, but back up to speed. Here's Brian Ross.
Flying Brian.
Out of Ballston Spa, New York. This is his own race car. He said, as we said at the top of the show, he drove for Kenny Schrader at Daytona, finished 3rd in the ARCA race. He's 1 lap down. He's won a lot of the nation's top modified races in his career.
Schrader says this guy is a real talent. There's a bunch of them out there that you hadn't probably heard of, a whole bunch that can really get with it up here.
Here's one, a Busch North champion, Dale Shaw, driving for Quinn Boisvert in this Skoal Pontiac. There's more rubber chunks going.
That's Rodney Combs in the 43 car there.
Jepco. And they had a new sponsor today from out of Henniker, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew who it was.
You want me to tell them it's the only town that does not have another town named after it in the whole world. Do you know that?
I do now.
Yep.
And Phil Parsons, who was off the pace a bit earlier in the Lux era. heating and cooling Chevrolet. He's a lap down.
That's Ward Burton in the 90. No, that's Larry Pearson, pardon me.
Ignition trouble took Pearson from the leaders. He was among the top 5. He's now back in 16th. And Jeff Fuller, the leading rookie on the tour, former National Modified champion. And he is on the lead lap. He's in 17th position.
You see the line that he's taking now. He's dropping under the yellow line there. That's fresh racetrack down there, and the tires actually stick better than where the rubber's built up in the groove there, and it kind of slides on the slick part of the racetrack there. So he's driving under the yellow line getting in.
And Dale Jarrett had a spin earlier in the Mac Tools car, but he's gotten back up to speed. And Jarrett is on the lead lap.
Just behind him is Jeff Green. Jeff is having a lot of problems right now. The car is not up to speed like it was earlier.
Engine trouble, they're saying, on the good wrench number 3. He is also on the lead lap in 19th place.
That's Bobby Dodder in the 08.
The High Tools car. They had a great day. Almost 1,000 people, or over 1,000 people, at the Southbridge, Mass Airport for High Tools Spirit Day on Wednesday.
You know, Terry Labonte, that's a good example right there. Terry Labonte's been off all day. The car really is not up to full song. He's staying out there. You know, Richard Petty told me one time, he said, boys, let me tell you, when we have a bad day, we stay out there and let other people beat us. We'll beat them a good portion of the time, but we stay out there and run all day.
And here comes Joe Bessie, the Delco Remy Pontiac, battling back. He's made a couple of stops in the pits behind Labonte there in the MW Windows Chevrolet. And Curtis Markham there in the Lysol machine. He's the number 2 rookie on the tour. Here's Bessie. He gives it his all every lap, no matter how many he's down.
Well, he had a car that would have been a top 5 car, but he ran out of fuel on the back straightaway, and it took him right out of contention.
Now there's Curtis Markham, who's the number 2 rookie. Look at the long nose on those Pontiacs.
Yeah, you got to watch it in the garage area. You can trip over them things.
We were talking about Rodney Combs' car, and it's John Kowalski. Riverside Precision Sheet Metal is the sponsor on that car that we were talking about from Henniker, New Hampshire. Here's Jerry Nadeau, the Bussman Fuses, number 15 Ford, graduate of the Xerox Saab Open Wheel Series. Had a great run at Hickory, and got in a spin here very, very early. And got
we got a spin off the corner.
Fuller in the wall, and here comes Markham. Both of the top rookies are in the wall simultaneously. It's like Fuller's going to drive his away, but Markham hit pretty hard.
Yeah, Markham hit on that right rear corner, and that usually knocks the rear end housing sideways in the car.
Not sure how that started.
Well,
but it'll bring out the caution here at lap 215, and we'll look for a replay. Caution car picks up Chad Little, who leads Elton Sawyer, Jason Keller, Mike McLaughlin, and Tracy Leslie. We'll be back to New Hampshire Live on TNN after this.
Exclusive coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN is brought to you by All Pro Bumper to Bumper, the auto parts specialist.
A spin off turn 4 put Jeff Fuller into the inside wall, and then Curtis Markham apparently spun to miss the incident. Here's what happened.
Mike, it looks like he just turned around coming off the corner there. He's experiencing some problems with the car. He might have been trying to change the ignition and maybe just got a little sideways, you know.
Jeff Green was so close behind him, buddy, there might have been contact there. Here's the tail end. Now here comes Markham. He has to cut the car hard to miss Green, who is very slow, and spins into the wall. From Jeff Fuller's car.
You hear it's sputter right there.
Now that's the back straightaway. Watch and listen.
Man.
Get it in gear and drive it away.
Tell me I don't like this seat up here.
Wow. We need one of those replays every race just to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Folks, we have 32 laps to go, and it's still anybody's race. As they haul Curtis Markham's car off the racetrack down at turn 1. The rear end bent too badly for Markham to continue, and he goes off hammock style. I like that little hook on the front of the ambulance/wrecker/safety truck. There's a neat little deal, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to carry one when you need two to carry one off. Speedway Safety Service. Good folks
Very
here.
handy, but very costly, that wreck was. That car is really hurt.
Yes. And the hood is up on Jeff Green's car. Again, hard to tell from any of those replays whether or not there may have been contact. But in any case, Fuller goes around and into the wall with an engine misfire anyway. And Jeff Green will put the hood down, get ready to go racing. Jeff Fuller makes a pit stop as well. So we're getting down to the short strokes here. 1 to go, and we'll go racing. We'll be right back. 2 laps to go. They wave the green flag. We're back to racing. 29 laps to go as you ride with Elton Sawyer in second place.
Well, boy, I tell you what, just behind him is Jason Keller. You see Jason really driving hard down in the corner, trying to get under Elton Sawyer, getting in the corner there.
8 races, 6 different winners this season. Number 7 today, maybe. Jason Keller riding third. You're riding with him.
Boy, oh boy, we got cameras all around that front group right now.
Dale Jarrett on pit road. Now 17 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Mayfield still up with the leaders, but not on the lead lap. There's the work on Jarrett's Ford. Right side tires.
He apparently cut a tire or something because he's had, enough pit stops not to need tires.
Going to have to get 4. Costly stop. So they're stacking up behind Chad Little for the lead here. 26 laps to go.
See Mike McLaughlin moving back in on this group too. He's his 5th car in this group, you see, coming in the corner there. Our pole setter.
Buddy, we've had 4 races on tracks over a mile this year, and Little has won half of them. Daytona and Rockingham.
Well, I tell you, he's going to have his work cut out because that's some good race cars right there. If he slips one time, he can end that streak that he has, because I tell you, any one of those 5, 6 cars in the front there could win this race.
In third, Jason Keller, the Budget Gourmet Chevy, looking for his first career win. His closest call was at Dover last September. He was leading with 16 laps to go. A lap car bumped him, and he wound up 4th. Keller trying to get to it as Rich Bickle goes to pit road. Heartbreaker for the Kleenex car. They're going to put the hood up on Rich Bickle. 16 cars now on the lead lap.
It's a good race. I love to come up here. This racetrack is a very, very competitive type racetrack. You can pass on the outside and inside.
Mike McLaughlin inside of Tim Fedewa, not that time.
Didn't make it. He needs to clear him and try to get up to the front right now.
Fedewa is still 1 lap down, just behind this group.
Elton Sawyer seems to be closing in on Chad just a little bit. He's getting in the corner extremely well. See Chad going in the corner there. Car is real stable, though. It's going to be tough to get under, I'll tell you that.
Looks like he picked up a little push there off the corner. The front end just shot on Chad Little's car just a little bit.
This is Mike Wallace in the 90 car, running very well. He's run this group down.
McLaughlin in 4th. Wallace is 5th.
And you see Jeremy Mayfield there. He's a lap car. He moved over and let the front group just get by. And now McLaughlin's trying to get under and getting in the corner here. I think he'll let him. No, he didn't let him go. I thought he would.
Well, see, Mayfield is battling Tim Fedewa just in front of him for position. A lap down. We'll double check. No, now they're showing. Excuse me, Mayfield is 2 laps back.
Mike Wallace is taking advantage of that.
Yep.
McLaughlin had to get off the accelerator a little bit. Mike Wallace is on the outside. Now, whether he can make that pass or not, I'm not too sure.
Well, who'll catch the draft down the back straightaway here? Trouble in turn 2. 1 car spins. Everybody's going to miss him. Not by much. It is Ward Burton in the Caterpillar car. We will stay green. He was running 11th, and now he will slip to 16th, tail end of the lead lap.
You see Jason Keller there. He's on the inside of Fedewa. Didn't make the pass yet. Tim Fedewa may be the fastest car on the racetrack. He lost a lap earlier and has not been able to make it up.
Wheel marker 2 on the quick tight number 55. And Reggie Ruggiero has dropped a cylinder. He's off the pace in the back straightaway.
Oh, that's too bad. Run this far and have trouble this close to the end. That's not a lot of fun. Here comes Jason trying to make that move.
Excuse me, he dropped his tire, not in a cylinder. My mistake. Lost the left front. Keller inside of Fedua needs to get by.
Jason's working really, really hard.
Yep.
Then car camera here.
And this is not for position. 20 laps to go. Fedua just ahead there is 1 lap down. Top 5 on the board as now Wallace has passed McLaughlin, completed the pass for 4th, while Ward Burton spun at turn 2. No caution. 19 laps to go.
You know, somebody's moved into this group right at the tail end here. Tracy Leslie has gotten into the race again. That's good to see. He's had a pretty bad year as far as luck goes, but he's moved back up here. And these are positions now that he really needs to pick up.
And right side of your screen, you see that Jason Keller has passed Tim Fedua. And look who's moving away from this group, Chad Little.
I'll tell you what, Chad has been on a roll this year. He could have won many, many races. He's had a few bumps, like in the Hickory, but other than that, he's been a very dominant car.
18 to go. Let's take a final break from New Hampshire, and we'll come back to finish this off. 18 laps to go. Chad Little in the lead. To go live in New Hampshire, Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Randy Pemberton. Later tonight, Glenn Jarrett and the gang will be out in Washington with Super Truck Racing, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Here is your leader, Chad Little. Running at an average of 104 miles an hour, including pit stops and caution flags. That's way above Joe Nemechek's 1992 record for the 250-lap distance here. 7th place battle. Johnny Benson has gotten underneath Johnny Rumley, and he's going to take 7th place away from the Big Johnson car. Randy Benson had been up near the front a good part of the day, but the car just hasn't seemed to run quite that well since the last pit stop. Can you tell us why? Randy?
Mike, I talked with Steve Berge about it, and they said the car just got tight, got mired in traffic, and I guess the car just changed a little bit. I don't know if he made any contact at all. Maybe the toe might be tipped out just a little bit in the front, but he just can't run it where he wants it. So he's just been struggling, and man, that car was a rocket a while ago.
That it was. 10 laps to go for the leader next time. As you watch point leader Johnny Benson, Chad Little will eat into that point lead substantially if he holds on to the front spot today. 10 to go. Flashes on the leader. Sawyer in second. Keller, Wallace, McLaughlin. Tracy Leslie up to 6th, which would be by far his best finish of the season. Benson, Rumley, Setzer, and a fine run by Busch North driver Tommy Bowles.
See Benson getting under Flying Brian there down the back straightaway.
Ross a lap down. Rumley gets past. Another pit stop for Dale Jarrett. He was in a while for tires. This time they're going to lift the hood on the Mack Tools Ford. 9 to go.
Oh boy, that's a very close race once you get away from the lead. Chad Little has moved away quite a ways in the lead, so they're racing right behind him. There's a lot of positions that are going to change probably before this is over.
Elton Sawyer, Jason Keller, 2nd and 3rd place, and Mike Wallace beginning to close in.
There's no doubt about it. Mike Wallace is driving his heart out, but I don't know that he has enough time to catch up to Jason Keller for that position.
The lead is stabilized at 1.3 seconds for Chad Little. Good bit of race traffic for him to work. And Benson is catching Tracy Leslie in the back straightaway.
I'd say he's really driving hard down in the corners.
All right, leader Chad Little. Looking for 2nd place. That's the white car of Elton Sawyer.
Just
white Ford.
Him, Jason Keller.
Yep, that could heat up. And here's Johnny Benson, who is locked onto the back bumper of 6th place Tracy Leslie.
Boy, Benson's getting in that corner extra hard. He knows he's running out of laps. There's a lot of positions right in there. He's trying to make some moves right now. Johnny Benson is really going to be tough to beat this year.
Trouble is that Jason Keller, who is very slow down the front straightaway.
Oh, man.
And his third place chances have been overcooked.
I guess. That is a shame. He ran a super good race today.
He's going to limp around to the finish. There are 6 laps to go. He'll complete a couple of them, perhaps.
That's Dennis Setzer in the 59 there, trying to get by the Big Johnson car at 25.
Oh, Benson tries it. Leslie gives him a little room. He got him.
He got him. It's exactly right. Five to go.
More Benson's car, the longer it runs, gets better and better. What happened to Jason Keller's car, Randy?
Well, they think he ran out of gas, but now I think they might be questioning whether or not that's the case. I mean, he certainly slowed. It could be a fuel pickup problem. I've heard of 1 or 2 of those on pit road today. At first they said out of gas, now not quite sure.
Out of the race is the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. 4 laps to go. Still a number of positions in doubt. Remember, Keller was one of those that stopped around lap 150 and did not come back in again, I believe. Lap 149 was his last pit stop.
I was just fixing to say, there might be a few of them have this problem. With 3 or 4 laps to go, you don't have time to come in and fuel the car anyhow. Wow.
4 laps shy of the finish. Jason climbed out of it. All right. So now it's Chad Little and Elton Sawyer, still about 1.2 seconds. There is Sawyer behind Stub Fett with 3 laps to go. Long way back now to the 3rd place car, who is Mike McLaughlin, the pole sitter. The French's black flag car. There's McLaughlin having a strong run.
He's running in 4th, and 3rd place right now is Mike Wallace.
All right, you're right. To go. Wallace is all by himself on the track in 3rd. McLaughlin unchallenged in 4th. Johnny Benson is 5th. Tracy Leslie is 6th. Johnny Rumley right now is 7th. That'll move Tom Bowles up to 8th.
You talk about somebody who's really matured as a race car driver. Chad Little had a lot of problems with Winston Cup. He went back to Busch. He's getting that experience now, and I'll tell you what, they'll really be paying a lot of money for this guy when he moves into Winston Cup the next time.
Look at this battle for 6th. Tracy Leslie, here comes Rumley down to the inside. Got him. Can he hold him? Half a lap to go.
Yep. Tracy's having some kind of problem. He's not running up to speed like he was earlier. Chad Little coming off turn 4, coming down to take the checkered flag.
3rd career victory for Chad Little. Daytona, Rockingham, New Hampshire. 3 of the 5 super speedway races so far on this tour have gone to Chad Little. Elton Sawyer finishes 2nd, Mike Wallace 3rd, Mike McLaughlin 4th, and Johnny Benson is 5th. Unofficially, they are now posting Dennis Setzer on the scoreboard as 6th. We'll double check that one. We're carrying Johnny Rumley as the 6th place car on our list. But Chad Little will come around to victory lane for the 3rd time in his Busch career and the 3rd time this season. Well, we'll sort out the politics as a Ford pulls into Chevy Dealers 250 victory lane, and we'll be right back. Coming up next on TNN, stay tuned for Bill Dance Outdoors. Immediately following our telecast on the Nashville Network, as we wait for Chad to climb out, let me correct something on the finish. It's Chad Little, Elton Sawyer, Mike Wallace, Mike McLaughlin, Johnny Benson, and then my mistake, as Dennis Setzer came from 12th to 6th in the last 32 laps. Dennis Setzer is the 6th place car, and finishing 7th would be Johnny Rumley, then Tracy Leslie. Chad Little climbs out for his 3rd victory of 1995. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, it took you a while to get to victory lane, but you did a heck of a job on the track. The car was fast all day, Chad.
I've never been to victory lane here before. Actually, I've only been to victory lane 3 times, so I didn't quite know where to go, and I guess I made a wrong turn and had to fish my way back through some cars, but You know, just thank God to this team. It's a brand new race car, and you know, we kept digging. It wasn't that good when the race started, and made some pretty good changes both stops, and it's just a beautiful day. I mean, thanks Bear for sticking with us and this team. I mean, we just never give up. I guess that's what it's all about. I want to say hi to Gary. He's back home and he's sick, our crew chief, and we miss you, Gary. We'll see you next week. And I want to thank Bear and everybody that's involved. Goodyear, and happy Mother's Day.
No question about it. Ditto here. Chad, a lot of engine problems out there today for some. You had some competitors. They fell by the wayside. You've had your engine problems in the past, but today she ran good all day.
Yeah, it really did. It ran really good all day long. Like I said, we were a little tight to start the race, and we loosened it up. And the second pit stop, we decided to do another deal, loosen it up, and it just worked out good. Tires were really good for me at the second pit stop, so just one of those days. These are hard to win, and I think after Hickory, I'm really happy for the team. I really am. I started cramping up. I get too excited. You know, sometimes I wish there was a rabbit out in front that I could chase, because I just got to take a deep breath when I'm leading the last few laps. I get so excited about it, but I guess I'm learning to calm down a little bit.
You took 25 points off of Johnny Benson's lead. That's a good way to get back to him.
Well, Johnny's got a great lead, that's for sure. So we're going to have to do a lot more like this, because he's very, very consistent, and I think they've shown as a team that they're not falling out of races. So, but you know, what we came into this year was to have some good, consistent runs, lead some laps, and do a good job for Bear and Harris Teeter. And I guess the wins have come, and we're really happy for that.
Nazareth, similar to this?
Not really. I mean, tell you, this is a tricky racetrack. I don't really feel like I even got a hold of it until the last 50, 60 laps of the race. I could find a comfortable place for me to run, to go in and to come out, and I had a tendency to really overdrive it, drive it in too hard, and then, you know, struggle in the middle to get the car turned. And finally, you know, I just started finding a place to run. And I don't think Nazareth is the same, though. You know, it's got 3 turns, and there's a lot more work there.
Okay, congratulations on another great run. 3rd win for Chad Little in 1995. His wife, Donna, giving him a hug.
Well, and that halts a 5-race win streak for Chevrolet. It's Ford's 4th victory of the season, and the wrong turn into victory lane was the only wrong turn Chad Little made all day. We'll be right back to New Hampshire. Welcome back to New Hampshire. Next race here, the Sports Car Club of America National Championships Memorial Day weekend, and then, of course, we'll be back here for Winston Cup racing at the Magic Mile in July. Today, it finished up Ford, Chevy. Let's catch up with Randy Pemberton down now in the garage area after making the sprint from victory lane.
Well, car owner Bob Sutton just comes around, gives Elton congratulations. You know, I didn't realize pit strategy helped you and hurt you today, but I guess you got some track position. Car ran real well all day. Nice, solid second-place finish.
It was a great run for the whole Ford Credit Red Carpet Lease team. You know, my hat's off to Bob and Danny and all the guys in the engine room. You know, we've started our own in-house engine program, and that was, you know, the engine ran great all day. But Bob made the call at about 100 to go. He said, we'll come in, we'll just get 2 rights and fill it up with fuel. And I saw all those guys within 4 good years, and at first, you know, we thought we were going to give up something, but as soon as we, you know, we got going, we were okay. We just wasn't quite as good as Chad.
You guys have seemed to have need a shot in the arm. You've run well so many times. The finishes just haven't been there. Maybe this is it.
Well, let's hope so. You know, this is a great race team. You know, Bob and those guys, they work awful hard on these cars, and like you said earlier, we've had some great qualifying efforts, but our finishes have no indication on how well we've ran, and this was a shot in the arm. And going to Nazareth next week, we ran 2nd, and we're going to better that one.
Uh-oh. Congratulations on a good, solid run.
After I win the Winston.
That's right. He's in the Winston in that Hooters-sponsored Junior Johnson car that he's signed to drive through the Winston Cup race at Dover live on TNN. And since that car won a couple races last year, the 2017, they're in the Winston.
Mike, that brings up an interesting thing. We don't even want to think about bad weather, but he's scheduled to run this car on Sunday.
And run Charlotte on Saturday and qualify in between.
Exactly.
Going to be a lot of long-distance commuting for Elton Sawyer next weekend if he runs both Nazareth and the Winston Select at Charlotte. Well, I hope the weather is better around Nashville, Tennessee today than it is up here in Loudon, New Hampshire. The Kyle Petty Ride for Charity, the Harley Ride, is going on cross-country, and they're about to rumble into the Opryland Hotel. Tomorrow, they'll be in Grand Ole Opry Plaza tomorrow. You might want to join that cycle ride from Davidson County line to Opryland, and you can join in and participate by making your donation and call the Opryland USA. For more information, 615-889-6611, or call either of the numbers on your screen and join them in Nashville tomorrow.
Boy, I tell you what, Harry Gant rode out there and back.
Yes, he did.
Is he tough or what?
We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Randy.
Mike McLaughlin had an excellent run, getting a congratulations. Boy, it was tough down there at the end. Fidoa, of course, doing the best he could. A couple laps down, couldn't get him. Might have hurt you. Ended up fourth. I guess Mike Wallace got you at the end.
Yeah, I kind of got boxed up there a little bit, but we had a car that was a little bit off in the middle of the corner. We adjusted on it all day. Crew did a good job on the stops, which got us back up front, but I'm just happy for everybody involved with the French's Black Flag. And
talk about this. Get him next week, of course. We'll talk about this team maturing. You maturing as a Busch South driver. You haven't been there that long.
Well, I think the team's a lot more mature than I am. I've progressed and a lot more comfortable, and it's starting to show in the finishes now. We just got to keep digging, you know.
Okay, good luck in Nazareth.
Thank you.
McLaughlin, a protege of the late Richie Evans. Never showed much emotion in or out of the car around the garage area. Did a lot of his talking with his right foot in the steering wheel.
Yeah, and still does.
Yes, he does. We'll be back to wrap things up here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Still cloudy, no rain. We'll be right back.
Exclusive coverage of the New England Chevy Dealers 250 on TNN has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Let's join Randy Pemberton with the third place finisher.
36 to third. Wow. Congratulations on an excellent run.
Well, it was a really good run for us, Randy. You know, it's just our car stayed a little tight all day, and that's what hurt us as far as, I don't know if we could have won the race. You know, we always think we can win it, but the Duron Payne's Heilig Myers Ford Thunderbird did a good job. Robert Yates built us a heck of a motor. You know, the motor probably made up for a little ill handling, and we started this race, and I told Barry, I says, look, we come to win it, but we got to finish it. Every time I'm here, I tear a race car up. I end up leaving and hurting for a month after it, and this was the same car we're going to take to Charlotte. So it was a great day for us. We started 36, ended up third, and rolled the car on the trailer. We're happy.
Mike Wallace, I understand this is your own chassis on this car. You guys build this chassis, and not a lot of teams do that.
Well, you know, Barry Owens, my car owner, crew chief, chassis man, all involved, is pretty good, you know, and we just chose if we were going to ever beat somebody, we got to have something different than everybody else. And Barry used to build the dash cars. A lot of the dash cars that won a lot of series races. This is kind of a clone to the car I won 3 races with last year, and where this is the car we'll race every race unless something happens to it, you know. And it looks like we're going to build all our own cars from here on out, and got a new Arcus Speedway car going together. Barry's building, and we're happy with it. We were just missed it a little bit today, else we would have been right there.
You're going to see a lot more guys trying to sneak a look underneath this thing when it sits in the garage here. Mike, congratulations on a good run.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Randy. Let's have a look at the finish of today's race. Chad Little in winning closed to within 172 points of Johnny Benson in the chase for the Busch Championship. Elton Sawyer and Mike Wallace made it 3 Fords in front. Mike McLaughlin, Johnny Benson for Chevrolet, Dennis Setzer's Ford, and Chevys for Johnny Rumley, Tracy Leslie, Tom Bowles, the highest Busch North finisher, and Larry Pearson round out the top 10. David Green, 11th. Rodney Combs, Ward Burton, Jeff Green, Tim Fidoa, Brian Ross, Kevin LePage, Dale Shaw from Busch North, as is Brian Ross, Jeremy Mayfield, and Reggie Ruggiero, 20th. Terry Labonte, Jeff Fuller, Hermie Sadler, Phil Parsons, Joe Bessie, Jason Keller was 3rd with 6 laps to go, finished 26th. Stub Fadden, Bobby Dotter, Jerry Nadeau, and Jamie Obie. Dale Jarrett, Doug Heveron, Rich Bickle, Curtis Markham, Jim Baum, that's the top 35, then Randy Porter, Todd Bodine, Jerry Marquis, Martin Truex, Jimmy Spencer, 40th, Mike Stefanik, Tommy Houston, and Rick Wilson. So Benson leads the points over Chad Little. Terry Labonte is 3rd, Jason Keller 4th, tie for 5th, Larry Pearson and Phil Parsons. 7th, Mike McLaughlin, 8th, Rodney Combs, 9th, Tim Fidoa, and 10th, Jim Bown in the point standings. The hat dance going on in Victory Lane. He knows where it is now.
Mike, I'm going to tell you, you talk about right decisions. He was offered a Winston Cup ride not long ago and decided to stick with this team. He likes all the guys, and this is with Mark Ripien and different people that are involved with this race car, he made a great decision, I think.
I think so. He's got 3 wins so far this year, and who knows how many to come as he and Benson, the rest of these drivers, battle for the championship. Tonight, truck racing at 10 p.m. Eastern, and next Saturday, the Winston Select, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on TNN. All the pageantry and all the competition of the no-holds-barred, no points, throw down, run what you brung, and let's see who's the fastest.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, you need a seatbelt just to watch that race, much less to be a part of it. I tell you what, they go at it.
And a week from tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, the Meridian Advantage 200 live Busch Grand National Racing here on the Nashville Network. Big doubleheader weekend next weekend here on TNN. Boy, real competitive race, buddy, and a fun place to watch a race.
It was that, and as I said earlier in the broadcast, if you hadn't watched a truck race, do so. I promise you, it's a good race.
It's worth staying up for tonight.
It is that.
10 p.m. Eastern time from Monroe, Washington. Glenn Jarrett will host our TNN coverage. David Green's car, who finished 11th today. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our telecast from the Magic Mile. Thank all of you for staying with us through the brief rain delay at the top of the day, as Chad Little scores his third Busch Grand National win of 1995. For Randy Pemberton and Buddy Baker, I'm Mike Joy, hoping you're enjoying TNN's live coverage of Busch Grand National Racing from the network that brings you more Busch Series live than all other networks combined, the Nashville Network. So long from Loudon, New Hampshire.
Happy Mother's Day.